Oh, really? We're live? Okay, cool. What's up, everybody?
Oh, dude,
Let me
I'm
see.
just chilling out, man. Just chilling out. You know what I mean?
Nice, nice, nice.
It's been an interesting last couple of weeks, flying all over the place, doing the events. You have your baby yet?
Man, not yet, but a couple of
Really?
days ago, I thought that we're gonna have it. It's one of those things. The actual official due date. Hold on, I'm just setting my microphone here. The actual official due date, brother, is the 2nd of November, which is like this Saturday. But not yet, bro. Not yet. Not yet. We're excited though.
It's awesome, man.
You know,
That's your fifth, right?
that's our fifth. Yep, yep. That's our fifth.
And you're
You'll know.
like 40 years old. How old are you?
You'll know the feeling, man. You'll have one coming up. You'll know the feeling.
Yeah, February, actually.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah, February. So February, I think 7th through 10th, something around there.
Nice,
So should be entertaining.
nice, nice, nice. Yeah, man. Family's awesome, and kids. I mean, I've been blessed with beautiful family. I just can't complain, man. It's a good thing. It's a good
Well,
thing.
you know the cool thing is what you could do. You know, when I saw you, you came out to Anaheim. I don't know if you actually went to any of the other events, but you came in. I didn't even get a chance to really talk to you. You spoke, and then you were gone. You know, and it is cool to be able to have the freedom to be able to do things when you need to do them, to be able to leave when you need to leave, come when you need to come. You know, so
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
kind of
I popped into the what was that? Where was I? I think California. I think I went to California. Man, I've been traveling so many places lately. I just got hard to keep track of them. Sometimes where you are. And I think it was Anaheim. I was in Anaheim, but I was there for like 24 hours.
yeah.
But it's amazing, man. I mean, you know, being able to and see, I think we get used to this kind of lifestyle so much that we just don't think anything differently about it. It's like that's just how it's supposed to be. Um, but when you work for somebody else, you just don't have that luxury. You know, we're planning on coming to Miami, possibly with the entire family for the Freedom event you guys are having. So that's gonna be
Awesome.
exciting. Yeah.
I'm excited to do that one because it's Miami in January.
Did I say February? It's January, yeah?
I think well, I actually don't know when it is.
Yeah.
I should check. Is it February?
I don't know, man.
Yeah,
I don't know.
we just like get on planes and don't know where we
Yeah,
are.
yeah, 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 yeah. We just jump on and go wherever. But yeah, I mean, it's just a blessing, man. To be able to work from home and just do your own thing. Like I was just hanging out, getting ready for the winter. We got winter coming up here in South Dakota right now. So I was just doing a few things around the house, getting ready, and just popped into the office to get on this hangout. Hang out with you guys and.
Now, is
Um,
your office in your home, Vic? I actually don't know. Is it
I have,
separated?
no, no, no. I got an office at home, and I also have an office outside of my home. It's more like a studio office here. I come here to do projects and things like that. I got the actual studio here where I record, videos and trainings and things like that. But if I have, and the reason I got it is because, I would be like recording video at home, and I would be like 20 minutes into a video, and then my little one comes up, hey, Papa, and then you have to do it over again. I don't do my stuff in chunks. I just do it straight up, from A to Z. So I'm like, man, I gotta get myself an outside office.
Yeah, that's
Uh,
awesome.
yeah, but a lot of times, my office is, my laptop. Obviously, as a lot of people
Yeah.
probably the same
You know
situation.
what's interesting though, Vic? I mean, we don't really talk about this much, but by the way, if none of you know who Vic is, Vic is actually our top earner in Power Network. I think you've made like 2 point something million dollars or close to three. I don't actually even know. Do you know how much you've made?
I haven't checked. I actually just checked. I was gonna check today, but I think there's some kind of delay or something like that with the new launch going on, and you guys having like apparently a bunch of people joining. I think I probably just crossed 3 million already, and I
Really?
started in December. Yeah.
We should just throw
So
an income disclosure out since it's the beginning of the live stream. If you're watching
big
this,
one, big one. Yeah, yeah,
yeah,
big one.
if you're watching this live stream, There's no guarantee that you're going to make, this kind of money or the kind of money that we've been able to make. We like to share extraordinary stories that are extraordinary. We got a lot of average stories too, though. We actually report averages as a company. I believe we're actually the only internet company that's FTC compliant with reporting averages. But if you guys scroll down the footer on every page on our whole site, actually, there's an income disclosure link that actually updates live every 24 hours with the actual averages of earnings of our entire affiliate database. Obviously, we can't track average earnings from our customers because we don't know what they make if they're promoting some kind of other business or if they're promoting their own info products or whatever. This is from people that we pay within our network, but that is the averages. It's real, it's honest, and it updates live every 24 hours. We're actually the only company in the world that does that. So I just want to encourage you guys to check that out to know the truth. Now, guys, here's what we're going to do tonight. We're actually going to have several other people popping on. We'll probably be on here for a couple of hours. I've got a little bit of a cough tonight, so excuse the coughing in the background. I'll mute myself out when other people are talking. I want to share some strategies with you, some concepts that have allowed us as a company to, right now I think that I actually don't know how much we've done. I know that we were over $70 million in sales at the beginning of the month total, and I know that we're doing, Empower Network is doing anywhere from like 1.3 million a week all the way up to, I think our highest weeks have been really close or just over 2 million a week. Don't quote me exactly on those, but we're doing anywhere from 1.3 to $2 million a week in sales right now, and it's increasing all the time. We have helped a lot of affiliates really do well with making money. We've also helped a lot of customers to take these principles and apply them in their own businesses, and of course we can't even track how much sales they do using these concepts. And so I wanted to share some strategies with some of our top people on how you can use this platform to get the results that you want, how you can take it, how you can buy it, and not only just not get our kind of results, but to get the kind of results that you want, to get the kind of outcomes you want, to be able to make the kind of money that you want in your life. And what you're going to see through the night, and this is really interesting, cough or no cough, you are going to see that there is an amazing level of similarity even amongst our differences with why we're able to do the things that we can do. Now, obviously, there's a big buy link below this video. That is to buy the Empower Network blogging platform. We've called it for the launch series. We called it the Blog Beast. The actual name of it is the viral blogging system that we spent about $3 million developing. And that's what that's for. It's $25. And of course, as you're watching this, feel free to buy at any time you choose. Or to not buy. You can just actually watch this and enjoy the free content, take it and apply it in the business that you want. And my goal and my really only mission is to give you more value than the money that I make. Right? Now, the interesting thing is, Vic, that actually starts getting hard after a while. You got to kind of really work at that. You know what I mean? Because when you learn these concepts, you learn these strategies, you really can start making so much money that it becomes a challenge to keep up on your own personal growth with the amount of money that you can make when you really understand the dynamics of the flow of how money is exchanged in the marketplace. It can be. I've seen people, and I don't know if you've experienced this. This is one of the reasons why personal growth is so important. But I've seen people. I've seen their income outgrow themselves. You know what I mean? And what happens, and what's interesting, is when people have an income that outgrows themselves, they tend to lose the income, right?
And, happens every time.
Well, you've seen that too? A lot, right? A lot on our edge. A lot in you come from the ClickBank guys, the affiliate guys. You were like one of the only ones that never like counted your list to buy everything. So you still got a list that opens emails. You know what I mean? I was watching your responses to a comment just on you posted on your Facebook wall where you did an open rate webinar to help people learn how to get emails open, and people still open and read your emails because you've really only sold what you believe in. You know what I mean? And I just think that's cool, man. I really do. So, my question for you, and I know we could ramble back and forth for hours and hours and hours and hours. How are you the top earner in Empower Network, really? Like, we have a ton of people here. We have a ton of affiliates here. We have a ton of people that are going to buy the platform tonight. We have a ton of people that are going to buy the Academy tonight at $297 upsell because that's going off the market tonight. How'd you do it? How are you the top earner here?
Good question, Dave. And it's I'm gonna answer it in there's a few different ways that I can answer that. And you started on the foundational, which is you never. I learned this from my mentor. I got started, guys. I got started in this industry about 8 years ago. And I did not know nothing. I mean, this, email open rate or an autoresponder or, an affiliate, these were like French to me, these terms. I had no idea what I was doing, how I would make money. But one thing I wanted to do is I wanted to provide a better, life for my family. I wanted to be the best husband for my wife, to be the best father for my kids, if we have some kids someday. And I got started I got married when I was 20. Got started online right after I got married, and got started online by borrowing a bunch of money. But I was just fortunate enough. I say this all the time, man. Everybody I talk to, I say, guys, look, I'm nobody special. Sometimes people look at us, you or myself or other leaders or other gurus, so-called. I don't like that term, guru. Listen, folks. Everybody is essentially the same. You strip down all the layers, the cultural layers, I'm this, I'm that. Just strip all that stuff down. We're all essentially the same, right? And people just want to be free. People just want to live a comfortable lifestyle. People just want to, to be able to do what they want to do with whom they want to do it. And so that was me, and I was looking at all these guys, claiming how much money they're making and the lifestyles that they were, kind of portraying through the internet as a vehicle. This was 8 years ago, maybe over 8 years now. And I wanted that, but I was working for a banking industry, being a bill collector, calling people all day long, telling them to pay their credit cards. And I was bringing home like $350 per week, in paycheck. And we lived like in a 300 square foot apartment, one bedroom apartment. And I just did not want that, so I think it starts with a decision. But see, folks, I was fortunate enough to have, the right people come into my life, into my career early enough. And, being fortunate is one thing. Like, a lot of you guys are fortunate right now because you have, you're looking at an opportunity that just allows, people to create absolutely ridiculous lifestyles. And there are people doing it every single day, right? But see, being fortunate is one thing. But being smart about it is a different thing. I was just smart enough to learn what my mentor was teaching me at the time, and I started to apply some of the principles he was teaching me. And the guy I was learning from, he is a veteran in the direct response. But I also came across a gentleman called by the name of Bob Proctor. A lot of you guys know him, right? Dave, I'm pretty sure you know who Bob Proctor is, and he's all about the mindset stuff, right? He taught me, I think there's two different things that we need to look at when succeeding. We need to take a look at what's invisible and then what's visible, right? So there's techniques that we can implement, like the blogging platform is a system, right? It's a platform. How to blog, how to do that, how to sell. So there is the outside sources, but there's also inside source. When you look at a tree, and people want good fruits in life, right? People want to have good apples, good oranges, whatever, right? The fruit of the tree is, and if there is no fruits on the tree, well, it would be silly for you to, come to the tree and just kind of beat the tree down because, you're just looking at the outside, what's going on at the fruits, right? And, lack of fruits or bad fruits or whatever. But really, what's the cause of that? Well, it's the stuff that's below the ground, right? It's the stuff that you cannot see. That's the root of the tree, right? Well, in your business, if you want to be successful, and this is just my philosophy, and it's been working great for me. It's been working great for so many people that Dave, I was fortunate enough and privileged to be able to work with. At this time probably over 50 or 60,000 people personally over the last 8 years that I've been online. Really over the last 7 years, because that's really when I broke through and cracked the so-called online success code. But altogether about 50, 60,000 people. And I see this pattern over and over and over again. Those people who listen, those people who apply, and like I said, number one is the mechanical, is the tactical stuff. Number two is your
your personal, your self-image, is how you see yourself, is how you grow as a person, because your income will always follow it. A lot of people try to make money. I come from a ClickBank industry, affiliate industry, or people just pushing products just to make a buck. There's a lunch going on, multiple lunches going on every single day, every single day in that community. There's actually, I don't know if you know this, man, but the Click, that world, the affiliate world, they have a calendar, right? There's a place where they all come together. There's an actual calendar of lunches that's happening. And they're like booked for the next 4 months, and there's multiple lunches going on a daily basis. And I mean, nothing wrong with that. I mean, people who know what they're doing, they're making money in everything, right? Anything they do. But to me, I come from that world, but I was doing things a little bit differently even there, because, well, number one, what my mentor taught me, and I just want to share this with you guys because I think it might be useful for some of you, or many of you. He said, Vic, your income will follow your personal growth. Okay, so if as you grow as a person, right, and what I mean by growing as a person, well, it's the people you hang out with, the people you associate with, people that you read about, people that you listen to. It's the stories that you put into your mind. It's the so many people. I mean, I was just reading a couple of blog posts today and just kind of came through them. Not like I was researching or anything, but I was just doing some things on the internet and just came through came across a couple blog posts, and people are just reblogging stuff like, hey, there was just this accident in this state, and some teen shot somebody, and it's just that garbage, that nonsense. People just blogging about it and talking about it, and they're just saturating their minds with that negativity, that garbage, which, yes, it's unfortunate, you know what I mean, but what are you going to do about it? You know what I mean? I mean, talking about it's not going to change it, right? But what it's doing for you, and what it's doing for those people who are into that kind of stuff, is it just shuts your creativity down. It just, unconsciously, all of a sudden you feel a little bit down, you feel a little bit depressed. So many people depressed in this world. Why? Is that because it's just because what goes into their, into their head, right? We got eyes where we take in information. We got ears, right? And so people just take in too much of the negative information into their head, and then they expect positives to be, shown into the results, and it's not going to happen. So one thing that really shifted my paradigm is when I started to deliberately ignore all the anybody who would not support my vision, anybody who would not support my dreams. I just deliberately ignored them. I did not. When I got started with an opportunity 8 years ago. It was a direct sales opportunity, and just like with any opportunities, there's people who are making money, there's people who are not making money, right? And in fact, most people are not making money. It's just because the 80-20 principle applies to everything, right? And so when you look at that, and when somebody's telling you that, hey, this doesn't work, right? And here is why it's not going to work for you, and they're just feeding you garbage, right? They're trying to derail you from your dream, and you're trying to build your dream here, right? You're trying to support your family. You're trying to break away from that rut, right? From that 9-to-5 job that I was having. And then there's this guy here telling me through his videos on YouTube, right, why this thing is a scam, for example, that the company I was with, that I got started with, that I borrowed a lot of money to get started with. And then there is a guy who's making $10,000 a month, right? Naturally, you want to listen to who? Who do you want to listen to in that situation? Well, naturally, human is drawn towards the negative, because that's how you were wired. That's how you are programmed from birth, right? We are programmed for, if there is an accident, you're driving on a road, if there is an accident, right, and there might be a beautiful sunset, in a distance, and there is an accident, are you looking at the sunset, or are you looking at the accident? Of course, you're looking at the accident, and a lot of people, they'll even stop to look at the accident, because that's the negative stuff. That's what humans are drawn into, right? Well, what happens in your business is the direction that you're looking into is the direction your business is going to go. And I understood that concept, and I deliberately started to absolutely ignore everything that would not support my dream. And I would deliberately seek out inspirational stories, testimonials from people who are making it. And I'm looking at them, and I'm thinking to myself, hey, if that guy did it, I can do it. I can do it. I can do it. And when you do it long enough, folks, when you read good books, right? When you listen to people who are making it, people who will have the results that you want to have. And when you're looking at the direction that you want your business to go, you do that long enough, deliberately, right? You will have results. I mean, it's just, there's no way that you're not. It's just the way it is, because what you're doing is you are literally reprogramming, you're rewiring your brain, if you will. It's a biggie. You know, it was a biggie for me. And I started to apply, obviously, some marketing principles, and learned a few things that, you know, if you want to be successful, you just got to be around successful people, and you just have to think a little bit. You know, a lot of times in this industry, folks, and Dave, you can, I don't know, you know, maybe you can share some thoughts about that as well. If you just start thinking logically, sometimes, you know, I just kind of step back from your business. You know, if you're trying to build a business, if you're looking at, if you were invited here to this hangout by somebody, and you're just looking at this, and maybe your arms are crossed like that, and maybe you're like, okay, what are you guys going to talk about today? You know, I just want to invite you to relax. You know, sit back and at least take a look at this, because guys, here is something I'm going to share with you, Dave. We have a team. We just crossed over 20,000 members on my team with Empower Network, and what really fires me up is not the fact that I earned over $3 million with Empower, but what really fires me up, man, is, you know what, out of over 20,000 members we have on our team, only about 2,400 members are actually directly to me, right? My personal sponsored. Everybody else, 18,000 plus members, whatever the number is, it's duplication, right? It's the most, Empower Network, guys, is the most duplicatable system that's out there. And over the last 8 years, I have seen a lot, and there's a lot of people trying to copy what you guys are doing, Dave. But when I look at a company, I just look at three things, really. And number one is I look at the product. That's got to be solid, obviously, right? Because you can't. Here's the thing: sales is a transfer of feelings, right? If you don't believe in something, don't do it. If you're gonna be promoting something that you personally don't use, if you don't have that personal conviction that what you're doing, what you're selling is benefiting other people, that you're actually providing greater value than the money that you get paid for, right? It's not sustainable, right? You might make a few bucks here and there if you're lucky, but it's not sustainable. I don't want to promote, and I never promoted anything that I personally don't believe in 1,000%. Forget 80%, 1,000%. So product is important, obviously. And when I looked at Empower Network, I looked at the products. It was a no-brainer, right? Because it's a platform for you to succeed, for you to build your business, and it's a training that goes along with that helps you learn how to build this business, right? Number two, what I'm looking for is a compensation plan. Obviously, if you want to build a team that's duplicatable, replicatable, right? If you want to make money, you got to get paid, right? We're in business to make money. And so 100% commissions with Empower Network was attractive to me, obviously. But the third thing I was looking at, and I think this is probably the most important of all, and that's really the, when you look at a human body, right? What's probably right away, like, what do you think is probably the most important, limb of the human body? Well, it's the head, right? It's the head. We can say heart and things like that, but when it comes to like limbs and stuff, right? And I don't know if you call head a limb or anything today, but I'm just giving you guys, I'm just kind of thinking out loud here. Well, the head of the company, right? What's going on in the leadership of the company, right? Is the most important part of all, because products can be changed, they can be adjusted, tweaked, compensation plan can be the same, but if the leadership of the company is screwed up, right? If there is no leadership in the company, if there is no vision for the company, for the future, for the growth, for the, how do you replicate the company? How do you keep the momentum going? How do you grow, right? And help people succeed. If the leadership is screwed up, the whole thing is going to be screwed up. And unfortunately, what happens is there is so many people trying to launch these companies left and right every single day, and they're trying to be copycats, right? They're copying, whatever, but they're missing the most important ingredient, which is that vision, which is that uniqueness. That you know what, we're not going to compete, we're going to create, right? And when everybody, like Dave, I think Empower Network right now is probably the most copied or copycatted company out there. I just see so many copycats, man. There are companies, dude. There are companies that are carbon copying your join pages right now, man. I've seen this. I'm like, I looked at it, I burst into laughter because, yeah, you know, maybe the company is good. I don't know. You know, I can't obviously bash anybody. I'm not gonna do that. But ever since Empower Network launched, man, I just see so many people just carbon copy, just you know, fearlessly ripping off what Empower is created. And what you guys are doing, what I love about it is you guys are not competing, you guys are creating, and that's what I love about it. And you know, with the ENV2, with this new blogging platform, I might share with you guys some actual tactical marketing strategies if you want. Let me know in the comments if you want, you know, if you want me to share some things with you of how do you actually use a blog to number one, increase your open rates on your emails big time. Number two is to position yourself head and shoulders above everybody else. And those people who are not on this hangout, they'll probably not know this kind of stuff. But it works great for me. You know, I mean, Dave, a lot of times when I send out an email, I get, you know, 50, 60%, 70% open rates on my emails. How? Well, it's how I position myself, right? And now with the with this new blogging platform, that it allows me to post a blog as easy as posting a Facebook post, right? It's guys, listen, if you're on this webinar, I don't care what you do, right? You can be here just to kind of check it out, but here's what I will tell you. If you want a system that can actually help you, no nonsense, actually help you build your business and take your business to the levels that you probably can't even comprehend yet, I think there should not be even a thought, you know, do I join this? I mean, there's just there should be no decision here. It's heck, it's $25 to get started with a blogging system. And Dave, I believe the hosting and everything is all taken care of too, right? I mean, I don't have to pay for my hosting.
Well, actually, Beck, and here's the cool thing is that $25 a month now through the platform, you get unlimited blogs with that. And you can have blogs on 100 domains if you wanted to. You could have like 100 niche blogs on different domains, all for $25 a month. It's actually significantly less expensive than using even the free platforms out there, because on free platforms, what ends up happening is you end up paying for like hosting on each individual site and like a million things that go along with it. It's not only better, it's not only easier to use, it's actually a lot cheaper and cooler. So I'm actually just proud of it because, you know, when we started, it's like you said, products are really important. It's really important that you give more value to people than they pay, and you continue to innovate, you continue to increase the value. And I think that from what you said, there's a couple of keys. One of them that I really am just so sold out on is that you've got to give more value to people than what they pay. Because if you continue to give more value than what they pay, they'll continue to pay you, right? Whereas if you give less value than what they pay, which is actually what most people do, you know what I mean? I don't know if people realize that copying our join page and like trying to copy our tech is a lot more expensive than just joining now. You know what I mean? But like a lot more, you know what I mean? I actually wish from time to time I could just be a regular affiliate in Power Network and just make money and not run anything, you know? Because we have to like plan events. This company costs like over $1 million a month to run, just to run it. You know what I mean? I mean, that's with, we're innovating tech. We've got over 100 employees. We've got employees in our personal affiliate account too. We do what you guys do with that. I mean, we're talking about $1 million a month. So people copy that join page and they're trying to copy the tech. And I'm like, you know, guys, I don't really care if they try to compete. And the truth is, I don't even look at people who try to compete with this, because what they're really doing is, I think actually it's hilarious. What they're really doing is telling everybody in the market, saying, I want to show you who the real leaders in the market are. We're copying Empower Network's pages. We're copying, trying to copy their products. We're having a hard time, but we're trying to copy them because they are the best. So don't join us. Join Empower Network because they're actually the best. That's what people actually are doing, which I think is, I think it's funny. You know what I mean? I've never copied anyone, to be honest with you. I look at people's stuff who I think are really good marketers, and then I take it and I put it out there with my own personality. I know that's what you do. That's why people read your emails. You're not just copying an email and pasting an email, which is okay when you're starting, but you're putting Vic Strausshouse out there. You're putting your heart and your soul out there, you're building your business like a business. You know, I read a quote on Tony Rush's wall just the other day where he said the most ignored advice in network marketing is treat your business like a business. And I think the reason it's ignored, Vic, is because, you know, I'd never ran a real business before. I had gotten involved in network marketing, and truthfully, I was not running a business for like 10 years, you know what I mean? What I was doing was selling stuff. There's a difference between running a business, treating this like a business, and just selling stuff. You know, I got a chance to meet with leaders when we were over in Anaheim. It's what I was doing. I wanted to meet with you, but you just kind of came in and then you jumped out. I don't even think I got to say hello, or I think I saw you.
Yeah, sorry about it, man. I don't think we even saw each other at the actual event now. But, I'll see you in January, man. That's all cool.
Yeah, it'll be January, and then I'll have to take off now because, you know, you'll have a new baby, and then I'll be having one more here like right after that. You know, just, I mean, you came to the event and then you jetted out, but, you know, I was talking to leaders backstage and getting to know them because we got so many people coming up that I don't even know. And what was funny was there was a guy named Abram and his wife or his girlfriend, I can't remember if they're actually married or not, but Abram and Nikki, and they spoke. And I didn't know his name. He was making like $40,000 a month in Empower Network, all through free stuff, you know what I mean? But one of the things that happens when people start making money is they don't treat their business like a business. And what do you do when you start, you know, making money in a normal business? You hire an assistant. You know what I mean? You make sure your corporations are set up properly. You go out there and you reinvest back into marketing, and you take money and you reinvest it. And most people in network marketing, direct sales, affiliate marketing, they just try to do everything themselves. And there's a real lesson in that. You know, Vic, when I went down to Hawaii and I saw the way that you operate your team, this is why I really like it. For everybody on here, let me tell you why I really like Vic Strisshouse. And I really like, this is true across the board with our leaders, but some of us need to get there, you know what I mean? I really like watching what Vic does because he treats his business and Empower Network as seriously as Dave Sharp and I treat the company. See, he could go out there and copy join pages and knock off Empower Network and make his own thing, but he's here. Why is he here? Because there's a fundamental law in the universe that it is more powerful to be unified than it is to be right. And when we put our visions together and our minds together, and Vic and I come together because I know we want the same thing. Like, my heart goes out to people when they want to succeed and they're willing to do whatever it takes. And it's honest. There's a difference between somebody who says that and when it's honest. But when it's honest and they're doing everything that they can, my heart goes out to them if they're not getting the result they want. It goes out to them. I want to help them, right? And so my goal is not to be the richest. It's not to be the best. I take most of my money and I just put it back in the company. You know, I'm not like buying tons of fancy stuff. I mean, I just bought a bunch of stuff for my house, and I'm buying a new car, and I spent a bunch of money on this watch. But I just did this as a symbol. You know what I mean? I don't do this because, like, I don't need an expensive watch. I did it because I look at it and remember this is more money than I ever made in a year just a few years ago. You know what I mean? And to me, that's a symbol because it's not saying look what I've done. It's not saying look at my watch. It's saying look what's possible for anybody on this live stream. Just a few years ago, 4 years ago, I had never made the amount of money in a year that this watch cost me on my hand, right? That's a symbol for me, right? So I'll buy things that are symbols to remind me of where I came from, right? You know, I've got this big old house, and I just decked it out. I think it cost $70,000 to deck out the house. But I'm going to do that one time. I'm buying a car. You know, I'm not buying the most expensive car in the world because I live in Costa Rica and it's pointless. I need something big, something in Tahoe. But I don't just buy random stuff. Most of my money, most of it, it goes back into Empower Network. It goes back into the people. It goes to charity Interpol. It goes to people that need it. You know, this Christmas, this is one of the things, you know, I think that, you know, I know, Vic, you're a Christian, and I think just a lot of things Christians believe is true, you know. Like, I think one of the things that's true, regardless of somebody's belief system, is that it's more blessed to give than to receive. You know what I mean? It really is. You know, and sometimes we got to start in a place when you start out there. Sometimes you got to be a little greedy. You know what I mean? You got to go out there and you got to get your needs met. Because when your needs aren't met, it's all you can think about, right? When you can't eat, it's all you can think about. When all you got is like the next bill, it's all you can think about, right? When your needs get met, your heart has got to expand and go out to others. So this Christmas, I'm gonna go feed as many kids in Costa Rica and give them Christmases as I can. I'm gonna try to go out there and give presents to 1,000 families out here in Costa Rica, just because, it's just the coolest thing ever. That's what this is really about, guys. It's about giving. And Power Network is about lifting other people up. And to lift other people up, and I know I'm losing my voice here. I've been like talking for weeks, but I want to give you guys tonight. You know what I mean? Even though I'm losing my throat, and I want to like cough up my lungs and stuff. I just love you guys, and I want to give to you. I want to give something to you that you can take. And just from tonight, I want tonight to be more valuable than it costs to get all in for Empower Network. That's my goal, right? That's my goal all the time. If I could get on a live stream for free and I could give you more value than it costs you to buy all the products for Empower Network, if I could give you tonight more than $5,000 of value, right? If I could give you tonight more than $25 of value, more than the Academy of Value, right? One Beast Academy, and we're going to rename that to just Empower Network Academy. Because the Blog Beast name, it was really just for the launch because it went with the movies, but that's not the name of the product, right? It was just a funny thing that we did. So, we're renaming that to the Power Network Academy, but that Academy, $297, what you get with that product is not worth $297. It's worth a lot more. We have 2 bonus trainings in there that people had to, just for the bonus trainings in there, the bonuses, right? People had to actually be all in with Empower Network, which means they had to own every product just to get there. And if they didn't, and if they weren't in our personal team, they had to be making over $30,000 a month just to get in the room, right? So we only had people in the room that spent over $5,000 with us, and we're making over $30,000 a month. Just the bonuses, right? What's that worth? It's worth like 100 times more than the cost of the product, right? So our goal is to give more value than the money we make, right? It's to give more value than the money we make, to give more than we receive, right? Because it's more blessed to give than it is to receive, right? The goal of the blogging platform is not to be the best, it's to give you the best, right? It's to give your business the best. It's to give the market the best, so we can go out there as affiliates or as customers, whatever you are, right? When you're buying the blog, you're not joining a business opportunity. When you're buying the blog, you're buying a product, right? If you want to be an affiliate, you've got to make that step and make that decision. It's an additional decision, right? When you're buying that, you have the opportunity to blog as a customer on our platform, getting it set up faster than, as we said in the videos, right up into the pancake, right? And it really is. It's faster than setting up a Facebook account. It's just as easy to use as Facebook, and you could be blogging from your mobile phone in the next 5 minutes, right? And all of you need a blog. So that's the goal, guys, to give more value to you than the money you're paying us, right? To give you more service than the money you're paying us, right? Most companies on the internet, they don't have like call centers unless they're trying to hawk stuff. You know what I mean? Like if you buy a product off ClickBait, a lot of those guys, they sell the crap and they cross-promote, they cross-launch everything. And then after they do that, they sell their list and they send them to call centers, and the call centers call people and hassle them for money for like the next 10 years until they change their phone number, right? I mean, that's the system. That's what people do. And the only calls we make, as a company, I'm saying, the only calls we make are to welcome you aboard and let you know how to put in customer service tickets and to answer your phone calls. We actually take, I don't know if you knew this, we take like 800 customer service calls a day from our call center. Our call center is actually in Costa Rica because our customer support's bilingual because we're preparing for our Spanish launch in January, right? So,
Nice.
yeah, guys, the goal is to give more value than the money you get paid. Now, my question is for you is how much are you getting paid? Because in addition to giving more value than the money that you're paid, here's what happens. Your income will always catch up with your value. If your value is like zero, the brutal part about direct sales or affiliate marketing is that when your value is zero, that's what you make. It's the most honest system in the universe, right? Because you can't, you want to know how much value you're giving, right? Look at your bank account. How much are you making? That's how much value you're giving, right? Because your income will always catch up with your value. You'll have increases, you'll have dips, but your income will always catch up with your value. It's like the actual value of silver. The market might not reflect that today, but it will catch up, right? It will catch up. Your income will always catch up with your value. So if you want to increase your income, what do you got to do? You got to increase your personal value. You got to increase you. How do you do that? It's the books you read. It's the audios you listen to. It's the people you associate with. That's why it's important to read books, to listen to audios, to get to events, to watch training videos, right? To increase who you are. To take this as seriously as a medical student takes medical school. How many people do we have in Empower Network that they do not take this seriously? They don't take the education seriously. They don't treat it like it's actual school. They don't treat it like it's an actual business. They don't treat it like they're training to be a doctor. They treat it like it's this thing. You know what I mean? Like, oh, I'm going to get in this thing, and I don't have to give any value, and I'm just going to like put links everywhere, right? Well, guys, this, if you're an affiliate here, this is a business. This is a profession, right? I mean, I might not look professional in the sense I don't wear suits and ties and stuff like that. But what is a professional? A professional isn't somebody who wears a suit and a tie. A professional is somebody that gets paid for what they do. And I'm a professional, right? Today, I don't know. Actually, let's do this really quick, right? Today, I'm reading from 2 books, right? I don't know if I've got them both here. Yeah, here we go. Here we go. Now, 2 books. Now, you say, you're going to probably ask what the hell these have to do with business. And the truth is, nothing and everything, okay? Today I read 100 pages from each one of these books. One of them, The Courage to Love. This is by Stephen Gilligan. This one is Virginia Satir, The Patterns of Magic. So these are both actually written by therapists, right? Where I read books like this all the time because half of our business is growing people, right? And so to me, learning how to communicate in a way that creates change in people is just as important as learning the market, right? Because you can market and you can sell something, and you can also, in the process of selling something, you can help people. I don't know what's going on, Nicole. I'm going to get her out real quick. Nicole, you can unmute yourself anytime. You can sell to people and create change at the same time. So to me, reading is important because if I don't increase the value of who I am, I can't increase the value of what we do in the marketplace, right? So I'm always reading, I'm always listening to audios, I'm always studying, I'm always practicing what I do, right? Guys, this is about your transformation. The blogging platform is about your transformation. This is about giving you the ability to do things that you could never do. It's about empowering you to be who you could never be. It's about empowering you to create change in your life. Now, I've seen some comments, by the way, of people who are trying to share this on Facebook and they can't. Guys, what happens is that we just get so many people on these things that like 8 million links go out at once and Facebook just blocks the domains. It's just what happens. From the people who are really our competitors. They think they're our competitors and they just go block links or whatever. If you go, we actually got a site, badasscontent.com. It'll mask the links if you go there. I think it is badasscontent.com. You can go there and you can actually create a custom link you can share on Facebook from that site. So if you guys are looking to share on Facebook, you can do it there. And we're going to actually create another name for that. It doesn't have the word badass in it because although I like to say badass, I know there's some people that don't, right? And so we did that for you, Vic. You know, Vic sent us an email. By the way, if you guys do appreciate the fact that we took badass off all the blogs, you can thank Vic because when we launched the blogging platform, Vic sent us this email and he said, look, you can leave badass on it, although it's not what I prefer. We do have a lot of Christians here because Vic's Christian. And he said, you know, but you got to take the skull off the logo. So we had a skull that you would click, which I thought was funny. I didn't actually design it, but I thought it was hilarious. But apparently it's like, you know, like a big no-no or something like that. So we're not trying to like really offend everybody. We just do that stuff because we think it's funny. So you can thank Vic for getting the skull and the badass taken off the site. If you like just having a like button better, that's thanks to this guy here. So give him a hand from wherever you're at. So, you know, we got Nicole on now. She's one of our female leaders that not only has created personal transformation in her own life, but being around Nicole has actually touched my life a lot as well. And guys, one of the things that you're going to keep hearing from us, you're going to keep hearing and keep hearing and keep hearing, is that if you want to be successful, you've got to work more on yourself than you do on your business. I heard a quote a long time ago. This is actually from Danny Johnson. I always like to give credit where I learn things, okay? If I can remember. Sometimes I can't remember because there's like, a million audios I've listened to from a zillion different people, and I go through more personal development than anybody I know. But she said this. She said, if you work more on yourself than you do on your business, you'll be unusually successful, right? If you work more on yourself than you do on your business, then you'll be unusually successful, right? One commonality Vic and I have got. Here's the question I was going to ask him earlier. Vic, what book are you reading right now?
I'm rereading Good to Great.
Good to Great? Is the book good or is it great?
It's actually a really good book, and the reason I'm doing that, man, is because I read it a while back, but it's always, you tend to forget things, and I'm at the stage where it's not a...
Did you silence your video? Oh, there it goes. Never mind.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I'm just saying that I'm at the stage right now to where I'm treating my team as a business. Even though I'm just a regular affiliate, I've personally invested over $1 million already into developing just the infrastructure for our team, because we're gonna have 100,000 people on our team here in the next 6 months. We're over 20,000, but so for that to happen, right? That something needs to, there has to be a different level of leadership. There has to be, some things need to be run a little bit differently. So I'm just reading that book just to, get good ideas and kind of refresh my memory. How companies go from, being a good company to being a great company. And so I treat my business as a company. I am the CEO of my own enterprise, just like you guys are the CEO of your own enterprise. And that's what I'm reading right now, man. So,
well, great. And guys, look at how fast he answered that question, right? Like this, right? I said, what are you reading? He said, from good to great. Didn't hesitate. Donald Trump has a question that he's really common with, and I can't remember exactly what it is, but he'll meet somebody who's a business person, and they'll say, what 5 books are you reading right now, right? Like, assuming you're going to be reading 5 books at the same time. No, not everybody does that. I tend to read 1 or 2 at the same time, depending on what I'm doing. I might be reading something on therapy at the same time, something on marketing at the same time, something's influence or something like that. But I tend to keep it really topical and focused, right? When I ask the question, what book are you reading? The answer is like that. Why? Because when you work more on yourself than you do on your business, you'll become unusually successful. See, building a business around what we do really, guys, if you let's look at direct sales or network marketing for a second, right, or affiliate marketing. Those are all kind of the same niches, and they're pitched in different ways, but really they're the same. And they have different ways of making money in different ones, and there's better ways to make money, and there's harder ways. If you're going to do affiliate marketing, I'm going to tell you something, guys, just join now. Just get in, right? Because you will not find people who are doing what we're doing for the reasons we're doing it, because we are a unique crowd in power. I believe this is actually the most unique group of business people in the world. It's the most unique group of business people in the world. It really is. But here's what we're really doing. We have a personal development organization, okay, that's there to empower people, disguised as a business opportunity. That's what we really, when we're talking about opportunity, when we're talking about being an affiliate, when we're talking about selling stuff, what we really have is we have a personal development engine that's there to grow people, disguised as a business opportunity, right? So even when we're talking about money and we're talking about watches and cars and the ability to go buy what you want, we're doing that because we know that's what people want, right? And we actually are the only people I'm even aware of that actually disclaim anything, right? And, we actually do. We disclaim everything, right? But when we're telling you that, we're telling you that because that's what I know you want to hear, right? Because a lot of times people are in a space in their life where all they can think about is their needs, because their needs aren't met. When your needs aren't met, it's really all you can think about, right? But then we take the people and we nurture them and we grow them. And it's like people are seeds. And some people are seeds that are in fertile soil, right? They're ready. They just need water. They just need the life drained. They just need the life poured over, right? And they're ready to go. Some people, though, they need to be like replanted into new soil. It's because, you know, they've been, like Vic was saying, that they've been looking at negative all their life, and they're just used to getting around with their friends and talking about what's going wrong with them, right? And I'm like you, Vic, where if I'm in a group of people and they're sitting there and talking about what's wrong all the time, I get up and I leave and I go talk to somebody else. I won't hang out with it. I won't continue in it. I'll be friends with them, right? But I won't be friends that are going to hang out with them and sit there and chit-chat and bicker. I'll be friends with them and love them from a distance, right? That's what I'll do, right? It is because you have got to realize, guys, who you are inside is a direct result of what you're reading, what you're listening to and watching, and the people that you're around. Now, being here tonight, I want to congratulate you because you are here in an environment where you can grow, right? Because probably there are not very many people in the comments that make anywhere near the amount of money as I do, as Vic does, as Nicole does. There are a few that are up there, and you're hidden, right? But not many, right? So, and it's not because, guys, I want you to understand. This book was talking about this too, and this is actually something. This guy says this comes from like a Buddhist philosophy. I don't actually know where this comes from. This book, The Courage to Love, it's a really super weird book. I didn't realize how weird it was when I started reading it, but it's super useful too. And he talks about in here the importance of realizing that you're not better than anybody. The importance of knowing that you are not better than anybody, right? Because what happens is if you believe you're better than another human being, like you're better than them, what happens is you also think you are worse than another human being at the same time. Because thinking you're better and putting yourself up here automatically places others above you. And learning to realize that it's not that obviously I'm more skilled at certain things than people who are in the comments. Vic is more skilled at certain things than people in the comments. But that does not mean that we are more important than the people that work for us, the employees we have, the people that make less than us, or the new person who's just getting started. But I believe, and this goes back to philosophy, personal development, I believe this for a long time, that the person who's just joining Empower Network and buying our blog right now on this page, I believe you are just as important to the future and success of this company as Vic Strazhouse is. And I love Vic, and I love Nicole, and I believe we're just as important as Nicole. And I believe you are just as important to the future of this company as I am, right? Because you are the future. Because this is not just about buying a product. This is about raising up generations of leaders. This is about raising up people and teaching them to have a new dream. This is about raising up an army of people that learn how to think differently. Because what's on the inside appears on the outside world. Now, whether that's through the law of attraction, Tony and I were debating that on the Facebook wall the other day. He was like, you know, there's no mystical law of attraction where you believe in something and it automatically happens. It's not how it works. Or whether it's that unconsciously you set in motion behaviors that create on the outside over time what exists in the inside. Whether that's the way that it works or whether there is a mysterious power of attraction or whether God's doing it, I don't know. But what I do know is who you are inside will reflect into the outside, right? And who you are is important. So I'm here to grow you. Excuse me. So, Nicole, I got a call for you. It's from nonstop live streams and talking, but I'm still here to give. So, Nicole, you know, I love bringing you out because you're so fun to listen to. By the way, thank you for giving in Dallas. You did an amazing job. Nicole was the MC in Dallas. Now, I didn't go to the other events. I'm going to tell you though, Nicole, I actually thought you were the best MC that you've ever had. I really, really, really liked how you work with people. I love your energy. It's like I want to have you MC everywhere, but when we have like 50 regionals, you can't be everywhere at once, and you probably wouldn't want to be if you could. You know, but I really appreciate you, and I appreciate the giving heart you have. Can you just tell people, from your perspective, what is it that makes you one of the most successful women in Empower Network? One of the most successful people in Empower Network. But what is it that differentiates you? Because we know you're not better. We know you might have different skills than people. We might know you may have more failures. But we also know that you're not better. We're equals here, okay? Anything I've done, you can do. Anything Vic's done, you can do. And anything that you've done, everybody on this live stream can do. This is what I see as the truth of the world. maybe in a different way that they can do it. What is it that sets you apart, Nicole, that makes you different, that makes you that makes it so you can do the things that you can do?
Hey Dave, thanks for actually bringing me out. And you know what, I would just say I'm so honored that you guys had me in Dallas as an MC. It was a lot of fun, but I think it gave me a chance to truly build on the vision that you guys had, which was to empower the audience and to really speak life into them. So that was really a blessing. I'm actually, you weren't here, Dave, but I'm in the hallway where we just had the event. That's where the event was.
Oh, so, the Orlando one?
Yeah, I'm still here at the Renaissance. So this is literally where everybody hung out yesterday for the event. But, you know, I just actually had this conversation with somebody about just what I've personally gone through to come into my own. And I feel like so many of us have lived our entire lives trying to put on a mask or an image of what we feel other people wanted us to have. We try to model what we see, and we do things that we see other people do because we feel like that's the right thing to do. But for me, what I feel has been the position for me to kind of get to a level of success where it's been recognized is, guys, for me, it's been transparency and being authentic. I think a lot of us struggle with who we really are, and we try to bury it so that we can accommodate what other people want us to be. And when we do that to ourselves, guys, I actually had this challenge. Vic can remember this, you know, but we would have these leadership coaching sessions before we would actually have our events. And for a period of time, I struggled with being inspirational. I felt like I was known as the inspirational voice, but I felt like I wasn't doing enough to promote the business side of myself or being more into the, you know, just the professional internet marketing, preaching that message enough. And so I kind of got aggravated about that, and I wanted to mute that. I wanted to dismiss my inspirational side, and I got to the point where I didn't even want to be called inspirational, which is so funny because every person at the event here this weekend in Orlando, every person that walked up to me said, "You are such an inspiration. You are such an inspiration. You are such an inspiration." But a couple of months ago, I didn't want to be an inspiration. I wanted to be a business owner. I wanted to be a miniature Vic Strizhouse. I wanted to be, you know, a powerhouse money person, and wanted to alter my identity because that's what I felt was necessary to get to an even higher level of success that I wanted. But something that hit me that was really hard, it was a couple of months ago when we were in Jamaica, and I was just kind of going through a little identity crisis. And I was having a talk with my sister Tracy and a couple of other of our team members that were there with us in Jamaica, and I was just expressing my frustration about being so inspirational. And they were encouraging me and things like that. But one of the things that I heard just from a spiritual standpoint was that with me trying to denounce who I really was me committing suicide to my destiny, which was to be here to inspire people. I was trying to commit suicide to my destiny by denouncing who I really was, to take on a persona that I thought I needed to have to get to a level of success that I wanted, which in actuality, when I tried to mute that inspirational voice, it actually made me miserable and frustrated because I started denying the essence of who I really am. And so I would say for all of you out there, you know, like Dave is saying and Vic is sharing, guys, we're there. The difference between us and those who don't succeed is a decision. It's a decision. I shared with my team last night on a call that I decided when I was a kid, I grew up in an environment where we didn't struggle. I didn't grow up in poor poverty or anything like that. As a matter of fact, we grew up in a very strong middle class family. We had everything we wanted. We traveled a lot and we did a lot of great things, but my mom gave me exposure to the even greater life. She took me through Beverly Hills and Bel Air and Pacific Palisades and Malibu, and I had a lot of friends that were celebrity kids, and I got a chance to see how they were living. And I said to myself at a young age, I want to live like this. And I knew by being an entrepreneur, because my dad was an entrepreneur, my mom was an entrepreneur, I had a chance to get access to seeing what it was like to make your own money, that I said, I will never be broke a day in my life. And I think that decision, when you make a decision to do something, guys, if you look at the word decide, and you take the prefix and the suffix of the word decide. The DE, if you go and you research it as a prefix, it means detach. It means apart from, you get rid of, you separate yourself from that thing. If you look at the ending side, C-I-D-E, side, that suffix stands for murder. If you think about suicide or homicide, C-I-D-E means murder. So Decide is separating and detaching yourself and murdering off every other option in your life. You're deciding to do that one thing, and there are no options. You don't have any choices. You don't go through and pick and choose what you want on the day that based on how you feel. When you make a decision, you are sticking to that as being your only option and your only choice. And once you make that decision, guys, what happens is one of the books that I just finished reading was The Alchemist. And one of the key things that The Alchemist said is that when you make a decision to accomplish something in your life, the universe conspires in your favor. And what that means is that when you decide to do something, opportunities will continue to present themselves to you that are going to manifest that thing that you decided to do. And I think the difference between, or I know the difference between what David Wood has accomplished, what I have been able to accomplish, what Vic Strizhouse has been able to accomplish is a simple decision. It's a decision. Like Vic said, months ago, we were sitting and talking in Denver. He was like, I'm going to make $1 million a month. That is what it is. I'm going to make $1 million a month. And he's come in and he's broken all kind of records, but because he's made that decision, he's attracting the different opportunities and the different platforms that are helping him to manifest that in his life. And it's the same thing for me. So Dave, I would just say, the difference between those of us who have accomplished something is a simple decision. And there's two decisions, a decision to attract that thing that you want in your life, and a decision to be free to be who you are. The minute that we are totally confident in being ourselves, which is what's so beautiful about Empower. And I thank you for that, Dave and Dave Sharp, for having the confidence and you guys have such a swagger about yourself. You guys have such a confidence and a belief in what you're doing that you're not insecure about people coming in and being themselves. You encourage it, and it shows that you guys have such a strength in who you are because you're not intimidated by somebody being themselves. You encourage that, and by doing that, you allow us to be better selves. And when we talk about Empower, I was just sitting here thinking about what you were saying about who we are and what we represent, about empowering people. And when you invest more in yourself than you do in anything else, you're going to attract the success in your life that you want. And I had this little idea, this visual in my mind yesterday about, and forgive me if you guys hear all this noise, that they're probably breaking down some of the stuff that we had from this weekend. But I was thinking about the whole concept of personal development and the power of working on yourself. When you guys go out there, and when many of us, we look for the external. We start trying to go out here and join a biz out to attract all these external things in our life to make us look successful. But internally, we don't feel that way. We lack confidence. We're insecure. There's a lot of things going on the inside that still positions us to not have the level of fulfillment that we want and not portray that light. We don't have this level of attraction to people because they can tell that something's still lacking in our lives. But when you invest in personal development, like what we're doing in Empower, where we have the events, we have the products, we have the Empower Hour calls, the hangouts, and all these things that are pouring into us, what happens, guys, is inside of us is a treasure. It's a treasure. It's almost like, you think about the pot of gold or a big treasure chest full of gold at the bottom of the ocean. There is a treasure chest in each one of us. But what has happened over the years is all of our limiting beliefs and our doubts and the mindsets of other people that we've allowed to rub off on us have come into our worlds, and they've covered it with the dust and the dirt and things that have begun to bury the treasure within us. As you begin to read books and listen to personal development and things like that, what happens is every time you're instilling something positive and empowering into you, it's like a shovel just lifted up an inch of dirt that is covering up your treasure chest and is getting rid of it. And the more you read and the more you study personal development, the more that shovel is picking up that dirt that has been accumulated in your life of all of those things that have been the limiting beliefs and the fears and the doubts. And that shovel gets rid of that dirt and it throws it out. It gets it out of your system to the point where now the more you read, the more you discover that treasure chest that's lying within you. And one of my favorite quotes is, riches is what you have, but wealth is who you are. Until you discover who you really are, guys, you won't tap into the level of wealth that you desire. And I think I know that once you make a decision to do that, and you do what these amazing $1 million, 7-8-figure earners are doing, then you will begin to experience a level of success that you want and attract the kind of people you want into your life and attract the kind of success that you want in your life. So I would just say, you know what, Dave, that to me is what I personally feel has been a difference. And not just myself, but all the leaders that you see shining here. When you bring us all together and we talk, it's just we're boiling over with joy about the growth in our lives. And that's what has made a difference is the decision that we've made. I know he's trying to get his mic right. We can't hear you, Dave. No audio. Okay. We see you now.
Okay.
There we go. Good. Now,
There we go. Can you hear me?
Yep, we can hear you clear now.
I just had I've got a long story, but I've got a kid named Jamie living in my house. He's actually been doing a lot of writing for me actually since he's been 14. He started working for me back in 2009 when I started online, and I know you met him, Nicole.
In Dallas.
Yeah, he was there taking notes on everything. But what happened was you know, I started to just kind of burst out on the internet and get well known, and he needed work, so he hit me up on Facebook, and he said, hey, you know, I need to make some money and try to start businesses online, and he's like, I need some work, and he's like, I'm 14 years old. And if you're 14, I was like, I don't know if I'm allowed to do that, man. Can you ask your parents? And he's like, yeah, hold on. He's like, mom, you know. So I think he was allowed to like work for me in the night after he finished his homework, you know, for like years. And this kid has been doing like network marketing and stuff since he's been 12. So he turned 18, and I just said, hey, come out, hang out in Costa Rica, and I'm going to help him because there's some very little things. He's super smart. He's going to be rich. Just flat out rich. The only other person I know that's been doing network marketing since they were 12 is me. But when he was 12, Nicole, this is hilarious. This kid was pretending he was like a 50-year-old man to recruit people because nobody would join a 12-year-old. So he joined the business, and he like had this photo. I think it was dad, right? And he wouldn't talk with him on the phone. He'd just like message him and stuff, and be like, I don't have time to talk. And he's getting people to like join these businesses and stuff like that since he's been like 12 years old. I mean, you got to just hand it to that. You know what I mean? One time I was I was in a really interesting event. This is an Amway event. Back in like, I think it was 2002, there was a guy named Terry Felber on the stage. Terry was like I believe at the time he was like a founder's executive diamond, which in Amway is like, you're magic, you know? He had an ass amount of people in his organization. He did something really interesting. Excuse me. The gender. He said, who in this room has had a paper route? Right? And it was like 30% of the room had raised their hand. And that is not normal in a room, right? He says, one of the things that sets us apart is that we attract people that are by their nature entrepreneurs. And by their nature want to start businesses. And by their nature, who they are, want freedom, and they reject normal, and they'll do things like have paper routes since the time they're 14 while they're going to school, while they're trying to start a business in the night. It's really fascinating to see. So he's living here, we're reading books together, we get up in the morning, and today I was like, all right, we're going to read for an hour, and then he's doing writing for me, and then I'm brainstorming some stuff with him. So that's what we do, though. We give. You know what I'm saying? We give. And guys, tonight is about you, right? It's about you. You know, I had an experience that was really interesting at the Anaheim event, it was like 2 weeks ago, where we did a Q&A. And I think that's the only time I actually saw you was on stage at the Q&A, because you were there. And you remember that kid, I think it was one of the last questions, right? Is he said, why are you doing this? And I said, I'll answer this, and then I want to pass it around. I said, who asked that question? Did you raise your hand? And he raised his hand. I said, what's your name? And I can't remember his name, but it was like Joseph or something. He might be on here. And I looked him right in the eye, and I said, Joseph, I'm doing this for you. Because I believe in you. I believe you can do this. And you matter to me. And I just stared at him. and he just like burst into tears. Right? You guys remember that? I don't know if you were there, Nicole. Were you at that one too? And Nick was there, and that kid came up to me after the event with his dad. Actually, he was, I think, like 18 years old, and he gave me a hug, and he said, "Thank you for believing in me." He said, "You're the second person in my life ever who's looked at me right in the eyes and said, 'I believe in you.'" What we do is powerful, guys. It's not just about blogging. It's not just about making money. It's not just about getting people to join now. Although you're welcome to do that, obviously, at any time if you're not in. If you're in, you're welcome to keep buying stuff, of course. Guys, this is about people. Remember, and I shared this at the event, but I want you guys to remember something, that when we look at numbers, right, when we talk about getting 2 customers a day, when you talk about bringing in this many numbers, move numbers, right, remember that every number represents a human being, okay? It represents a human being with a heart, with a soul, with hopes, with dreams, with desires, with families, with kids, moms and dads, and people who are having marriage problems, and people that are lonely, right? People that have hope in their heart. That every number is a human being. When Vic, he talks about, hey, he sponsored 2,000. His team has 20. And his team will be larger than Empower Network is today as a whole. I believe in a year. He'll have over 200,000 people just in his team, right? And this is going to places that none of us can even imagine right now, right? Maybe I can imagine where it's going to be in 5 years, but where to be in 10 and 20, it's unimaginable even for me, because my imagination will continue to have to grow to make up for the ever-increasing amounts of people that are coming to this thing. When he talks about, though, bringing 2,000 people in, it's not a number 2,000 like $2,000, right? This is 2,000 human beings, 2,000 hearts, 2,000 souls. How many of them have families? How many of them have kids? These are people that need to be believed in, right? A lot of times people say, how big is your list? You know what I mean? It's like the modern internet form of like whose weighing is larger, you know what I mean? And people say, well, I've got 5,000 on my list, and then another person says, I've got 20,000 on my list. Guys, it's not a number, right? When you have a list, when you have leads, it's a responsibility. These are human beings, right? They're not objects. They're not things to throw marketing at. You're not talking to an inanimate rock, right? That has no desires and no dreams in life. You are talking about somebody who ran into you for a reason and who has a heart and a soul, right? And dreams and desires. Who's like that kid in the audience who needs somebody to believe in them. They need somebody to give to them. They need somebody to be in their life and put their arm around them. It's virtually through the internet. Put your arm around them, put it on the back, and pull them in close and tell them, I love you, right? I'm here for you. And I could look at somebody and I could say, if you're not with me on the beaches of the world, it is not because I gave up on you. It's because you gave up on me. Right? And I'm honest with that down to the bank. Because I don't think about anything else other than what can I give? What can I give? What can I give to the world, right? Because I believe that regardless of who did it, that I'm here for a reason, right? And it's bigger than making money and talking about dreams and talking about putting your toes into the hot sand of the beach and looking out at the oceans, the waves roll in, and talking about the city view that's right there at the side of my audience and all the people that are dressed. I'm here for a reason, right? I remember being in a room with Nicole actually over in, and I think Vic was there, over in a room in Austin, Texas. And Austin, Texas was an event. We've had several transformative periods where just everything in our country changed. And Austin was one of those times. That was in January of this year. And we did a speakers training, a leadership training, where we flew everybody in. Vic was in the room, Nicole was in the room. First time we met Vic, actually. And he showed up with like 300 people. It's amazing. I mean, everything he does good. You know what I'm saying? He's like, I'm not just showing up. I'm bringing 300 people. In his team, if you don't come to the events, you're like not in the team. You know what I mean? But we're in this room, and you know, I got to ask the question: what's your goal, right? And I said, well, I want 20 people making, you know, $250,000 a month or something like that. And you know, I want to have the richest team. And my brother's a hypnotist, and he says, well, when you get that, what's that going to get you that you don't have now? And I was like, well, I know I'm doing the right thing. I'm serving the team, you know. It's like they're going to be making money. They're going to be succeeding. It's going to be represented in a larger amount of people succeed. I rambled for like 2 minutes. He's like, okay, when you get that, what's that going to get for you that you don't have now? And he just kept asking me until my mind was silent. I actually felt a little bad. You know, that's really common when you get to somebody's core, you know, they'll get a little mad sometimes. Sometimes when I say things, people will get a little mad, and it's not because I'm not right. It's because I'm pushing into who they are as a human being, and on purpose to set them off. Because you push one step further, and you see who somebody really is inside. And who that is who we want to touch and empower. That's who we're talking to, is who's inside. And for me, it was really interesting because it was like a feeling leapt out of my unconscious mind and said, because this is my purpose, to transform people, right? There is a bigger reason we're here. Now, in the beginning, you got to deal with the fact that you've got needs, right? And if, like, I remember, you know, not being able to eat food that was good, and you know, being frustrated all the time and not being able to do anything I wanted to do ever, right? But when you're there, it's time to change, right? You got to start dreaming, but like your dreams are going to be like in a space where you're a little more limited because you've never seen greater things, right? And maybe all you need is for somebody to look you in the eyes over a live stream while you're sitting on a page and tell you, I am here to serve you because I believe with all of my heart and soul, I believe you can do this. And I don't care what your background is, and I don't care if you've been homeless, and I don't care if you're addicted to drugs right now. I don't care if you just went through a divorce, or if you're going through a separation, or if you're having relationship issues. You have the greatest relationship in the world, but you just can't make money. I believe you can do this, okay? Maybe that's all you need, is just for somebody else to believe in you long enough for you to catch up and start believing in yourself again, you know? And that's what this is really about, guys. It's about, why are you here? You know, in school, it's like, what do you want to do with your life? You know, that's what they ask kids. But they never drill into the kids and say, who are you deep down inside? Right? I think all of our life would be different if our teachers did that, if our parents did that. Who are you on the inside? Why are you here in the world? Right? That could take a person 32 years to figure out. They could get 31, I think, during that event. Now I'm 32. It could take you 31 years to figure that out. Right? It can take you 50 years to figure that out, but really it can happen in a conversation. Your purpose will guide everything that you do when you know it, right? And it's not just about having a purpose, guys. It's about realizing that you can do more and you can do better than you are. I look out in the world, and there's somebody on this live stream, and they're joining right now, because they're saying, that's it, I'm doing it. And there's somebody on here that could just, you know you could be getting more. You know you could be doing better. You know you're not stepping into your full potential right now yet. Because you're sitting there and you've been holding back. Because what your teacher said or what your parents said or in the past, this happened. It's time. Yeah, it's time. That's what the Blog Beats launch it was all about. It wasn't about having the biggest launch and like all this stuff. What it was really all about was transformation. That's what the new blogging platform is about, transforming the way people communicate on the internet, transforming the way blogging is done, transforming the way that business is done online, right? We've moved into the top You know, I think we're like 214 most popular site in the world, or something like that. You know, that's pretty cool. We will be in the top 50, in the top 20, in the top 10. And it's not just about being in the top. It's about lifting you up to being who you can be. And who is that is my question, right? Because I got some books you can read, I got some audios you can listen to help, right? But who are you going to be? Who are you going to be, right? See, I can still talk Nicole even when I got a hoarse voice. Hey, Vic, I got a question for you, buddy. You know, you're somebody, and you know, I like watching you because when you come into something, you don't just dip your toe in the water, right? You jump in by immersion, you know what I'm saying? Like you come in with everything. And what's the importance that you see in making a commitment to your business and making the, you know, not just a financial decision, not just a decision to be all in, but a real decision to be all in. And the all in really is not ever been a financial thing, it's a heart thing, and you and I both know that. But why is it that you're so solid on people making tough decisions that are a little bit of a stretch for them to make?
It's I don't. Here's my perspective on that, Dave. And by the way, man, I don't know if you can grab if you got like an earpiece or something like that, you can grab that. Your sound is a little too echoey. You got probably a huge mention there that you're in, and you're a little echoing. So I don't know if you got that or not. That might help. I just saw some comments from people. That's all. Hey, the reason for that, man, is what when I do something, Dave, I don't do like 3 or 4 or 5 or 10 different things at the same time. I'm a little bit weird, in that sense, maybe, because I know there are some people, they're just, you gotta diversify. You gotta do all, multiple sources of income and everything, and that's cool. I'm not saying that's bad or anything. My personal perspective is, when I decide to do something, for me. It's more like a if you think of computers, it's either a 1 or a 0, right? Like a computer programming. If you got some programmers online here tonight, it's either a 1 or a 0. So and for me, it's either I'm going to be committed 1,000%. I'm fired up 1,000% about something, or I'm not going to do it at all. I don't want to be committed 80% or 90% or 99.9%. Just because I believe that the intention is important, but the intensity of your energy, the energy that you bring with you into building a business, into starting something, into if you want to build a team here, if you just want to use this blogging platform as a platform, as a product. Especially if you want to be a team builder, especially if you want to grow an organization, inspire people and just lift people up and duplicate yourself and duplicate your efforts, because guys, that's really where truly where you get fulfilled is not, money is good. Obviously you need to satisfy your financials. That's the first thing, is you take care of yourself, you take care of your family, you get to the point where you don't have to worry about money. It's actually very easy with Empower here, the way I see it, because heck, it's 100% commissions. You got the system that's duplicatable, replicatable, guys. But here's what I'm going to tell you. I've got a microphone here. I want to speak for just a few minutes on the topic of I was an outsider, right? Obviously, I'm with Empower Network right now, but as an outsider, right, as a marketer, we can be I could be promoting different things, right? I can be doing a whole bunch of different things out there. But here is why I think that my team, I can speak for my team because that's what we do. Here is why we have a lot of people who are seeing tremendous success, right? Well, first of all, how do you make money? How do you change your lifestyle? How do you change your zip code? How do you change your vehicle and things like that, if that's your thing, right? Well, you make money by selling stuff. That's basically pure and simple. That's how you make money. You can sell a bunch of different things, right? I can speak about Empower because I'm an affiliate of Empower, just like a lot of you guys, a lot of you guys are going to join here tonight if you're looking at this. But here's why our team is probably the most duplicatable. I don't know if it's, if we are, but so many success stories are coming out, and I see them on a daily basis. That's because I tell people, I say, guys, look, if you want to build a business, right, don't expect, I mean, you can build a business, you need the right tools, you need the right mindset, you need the right training, and you need to implement things. Really, that's what you need, okay? So when you look at Empower, the $25 blogging platform, the viral blogging system, okay, it's $25 a month. You got your hosting taken care of. You got your, you can do multiple domains on the same and manage them from the same spot, from the same account. You can post as quickly as you can post on Facebook. You can actually do a blog post, whether it's a video, whether it's a with a picture, whether it's just a text blog post. The platform is absolutely mind-blowing. I mean, I was not blogging up until this point, really, because WordPress, I'm not a techie. Guys, honestly, I don't know. Never took the time really to figure out how to do WordPress. All right. Some of you guys are probably laughing, like, man, you kidding? No, I don't know how WordPress operates. I don't know, right? I got people who if I need to do a WordPress something, they do it for me. But man, when I saw this Empower network blogging platform, being able to post a blog in 3 minutes, right, 30 seconds, depending on how long it is. I can shoot a video on my iPhone, and right from my iPhone, I can boom post it on my blog, on a public blog, right from my iPhone. That's incredible. And to think that everything is taken care of for you, from hosting to design to maintenance to everything, right? It's a steal. But that's a platform. Okay, that's a platform, folks. I want to be very clear on, how do you use this to your advantage, right? If you already have a business out there, if you are, maybe you're selling flowers, maybe you're selling, other opportunities, maybe you're selling your own stuff out there. How can you use this? Okay, well, here's how. Number one is if you're going to use this as a blogging platform, okay, well, obviously that's going to get you a lot more exposure to your business really, really fast. Okay, you can promote whatever. I can, maybe a little bit later on, I can touch and share with you guys some marketing strategies, actual marketing strategies that you can implement that work really, really well for me personally. And I was using them even before I started to blog. But now that with this new blogging system, and it's just so much easier. I'm going to share it with you guys a little bit later. But I can tell you something else, okay? When I talk to people and people say, Vic, I just want to do Empower Network, man. I just want to, I see your vision, I resonate with your guys' vision. I want to be, a team player. I want to build my own organization with it. How can what do you recommend I do, okay? And guys, I tell people straight up, I say, look, $25 a month, you get a platform, right? A blogging platform. You can use that anywhere you want. You can promote your own stuff. You can, you can resell it for additional $19 a month, become an affiliate of Empower. You can actually resell Empower's products, okay, which I believe in them 1,000%. I have them all, okay? But I say, guys, look, if you want to build a business around Empower Network, just like I did, just like a lot of people on our team did, our top income earner on my team, a guy who started out, was struggling for like 7 or 8 years, never really made a lot of money. I think most he made was like a couple $100 a month, maybe. And this guy has generated over, I think he crossed $400,000 already since December, or actually since January, to be actually more precise, of this year. Okay, so it hasn't even been a year yet. A lot of people are making $10,000, $20,000, $30,000 a month. Tons of people, anywhere from $1,000 to $5,000. So the income is obviously, that's why there's an income disclaimer, right? Income varies. But here's what I tell people. I say, look, you don't expect to make $1 million a year or $100,000 a year by just reselling just a blogging system, okay? Just $25. I say, look, you're starting a business, okay? You're starting a business. Here's, if you go take a look at the franchise, if you go take a look at an offline, brick and mortar type business, what does it take to start an offline business? Well, it takes a lot of money. It takes, a couple $100,000 probably, right? You are starting a business. Folks, I got started. I was living in an apartment in a ghetto neighborhood, okay? Right now, and don't take this the wrong way. I just want to share with you guys the possibility and some principles I'm about to share with you, okay? Just want to give you guys a perspective and to show you what's possible. Folks, right now, we don't have any debt. We don't have a mortgage. We don't have a car payment. We don't have a credit card payment. We don't have any payments whatsoever. Okay, nothing. The only payment the investments that I do right now is I'm investing back into the platform for my team to help my team replicate my success as much as possible. Okay, it's possible for you to live a completely debt-free life. It's absolutely possible. Okay, when you have the right vehicle and when you treat this thing like a business. Okay, now here's what I tell people. I say, look, you don't expect to make $100,000 a year or $1 million a year just by getting a $25 product. It would be silly. Okay, I mean, you go to a Walmart, you pay for your groceries, and during your checkout, the 2 minutes that you're in line, you buy candies worth more than $25. I mean, just don't be silly, right? It's a platform, yes, but here's how you make big money. You make big money by purchasing additional products, right? I highly recommend and stand behind Empower's products because this stuff is making a difference for me as a marketer, for my team, right? Is you get knowledge. The most important investment, or the most the biggest investment that you can ever make is investing in yourself. It's getting the knowledge. Okay, as a marketer, we need to know a few things. Number one, we need to be inspired consistently. We need to it's one thing when you are working from your home or from your office and you're like by yourself, you're trying to make it right. This online business can be a little bit lonely sometimes, okay? We need to be around people who are going in the direction we want to go. We are human beings. We need to be a part of that. We need to be a part of a team, right? Think about it. Professional football players, professional, sports athletes, right? I mean, guys who are contracted to play football, right? NFLers, you name it, right? Whatever. Get basketball, they get paid millions, multiple millions of dollars for their career contracts, right? What happens before the game? Every Sunday night or every Sunday or every Monday, whenever they're playing, what happens before the game? These are professionals. Well, what happens is they all get together in a locker room, right? And their coach motivates them, doesn't he? Do these guys need motivation, do you think? I mean, they're professionals. Man, they have been playing, for years. They get paid millions and millions of dollars to play the game, right? They know the game. They know the rules. They know what they need to be doing out there in the field. Why do they need motivation? They need motivation because for the same reason that you and I, we need motivation in our business, right? Folks, very, very important. That's why, the products like, for example, Inner Circle with Empower Network, right? That stuff, I listen to that stuff every single day. There's not the day that gone by, probably in the last, I'd say at least 6 or 7 months now, that I have not listened to an Inner Circle. I listen to that stuff because that stuff, it keeps you on the edge. It keeps you, you keep your sword sharp. You know what I mean? Or your axe, if you want to call it that. You got to keep your skills up to date, right? You got to stay on the top of your game because when you talk to people, the level, your personal conviction about what you do is going to get transferred through your writing, through your blogs, through your emails, through your videos, through your personal conversations. That stuff gets transferred, okay? So another thing is you invest in your education as a marketer to learn how to market your business, right? How do you get traffic? How do you promote? How do you build an organization? How do you build all that stuff? See, these are the products that are additional products that Empower has. Just like when Apple, you go to an Apple store, you buy an iPhone, right? Well, they got a computer, they got a MacBook Pro, they got an iMac, they got all these other products, right? That you may or may not want. But when it comes to investing in your business, when it comes to making, and expanding your income, is you become, like Dave was talking about, you become the source of information, right? You become the person who is worthy to earn the amount of money that you want to earn. You need to become the person worthy of that amount. So many people are trying to build their businesses just by, what can I do just enough? Just enough. That's they call them employees, right? They work just hard enough from not being fired, and they get paid just enough from not quitting, all right? As a business owner, I talk to people straight up. I say, look, if you want to build a real business, get everything that you possibly can. If you cannot get all the products right away, Don't worry about it. Don't sweat it. At least get as much as you can. Invest in your education. Invest in yourself as a marketer. Invest in your skills, in your knowledge, right? And then what you do is, if you believe in that stuff, but see, when you go through that stuff, when you actually apply the information, you will get fired up. Your belief level is going to increase, right? You will be able to share with others what you're learning, and you share from your experience. So in other words, you're going to be learning, you're going to be doing, and you're going to be sharing it, right? So what happens is, when you decide to build a team, for example, you know, you have a perspective. You have, you know, you're like that source of information that others look at you, and they're like, well, you know, I don't know what, but there's something different about this person that I don't get the same feeling with this person. Does that make sense? So you want to be the person who will generate that energy that's a little bit different from this other person, right? And the good news is you can. It's actually very, very easy to stand apart and stand out from the crowd. It's very easy, because 98% of people, 99% of people, they're not doing anything. And it's, you know, if you just do one thing that's a little bit, you know, above what everybody else is doing, if you just take 1 extra hour a day to go through the 15K formula, to go through the master's course, to listen to an audio, right, Inner Circle, to get the you know, if you go through the you know, the Empower Network Blogging Academy, or the Blog Beast Academy, if you go through that, just take an hour, folks. You do that for a week. Maybe you have to wake up an hour earlier, right? It's a sacrifice, but you know what? You're doing something that 98% of people don't want to do. And you know what? If you want to have a life that's totally free, if you want to wake up at 12 o'clock, you know, noon, if you don't want to have a mortgage, if you don't want to have a credit card payment, see, that's what you do. You separate yourself from the 98% club and you join the 2% club. And then you decide how you want your life to be. Now, I want to share with you guys a strategy that worked really, really well for me. And especially if you're a marketer, you can implement this, because this stuff is really, really ninja. Okay, I actually had a webinar or a hangout last week, and I you know, I kind of touched upon this, but it's a perfect marriage now with this new blogging system. Here's what I learned early on in my career. Okay, when you are promoting something, okay, whether it's, you know, let's say it's some kind of transformational thing. Okay, maybe it's, you know, coaching. It's not going to work so much like if you're selling like diapers or flowers or anything like that, right? But if you're selling some kind of transformation, you know, if you're an online builder, if you have a company that you're promoting, if you're selling a how-to, right, information, this can work great for you. So here's what you do. You take a look at your subscribers, okay? So people that you have on your list, and you all should be building a list, okay? So these are real people with real desires, with real, you know, names and dreams and goals and things like that, right? Just like you, just like me, just like Dave, just like Nicole. You take a look at this. Whatever you're promoting, okay, you're promoting an end result to something, okay? So if you can draw a timeline, you know, point A and point B of the timeline, right? The person needs to go, they enter into your funnel, they first come in contact with you, okay, when they first saw your website. They want to get to this point B, right, to where, whether they're making more money, whether they, you know how to, you know, teach their dogs how to behave or whatever, right? So there is a time frame, or the timeline. You as a marketer, you know what most people are doing? They're just pushing their product at the end of that timeline, whatever they're selling, right? They're just hammering their list with pitches, right? You pitch every single day, multiple times a day. I've actually seen, you know, get a few emails from a few marketers, big name marketers, and it just makes me laugh every time. I get like 5 or 6 emails from them per day. You know, and they're just pure pitches. They're just pitching, hey, buy this, buy this, buy this. Here's, you know, a special offer. You got to get it. And it's just, you know, that's what everybody's doing out there, right? Here's what you do as a smart marketer, right? You take a look at this. You say, okay, so this guy wants this end result. What can I give him between now, when he first came in contact with me, right? That would make him a step closer, that would get him, you know, a little bit of a bring him closer to his end result. Okay, so for example, if somebody wants to, you know, build an online business, okay, or maybe let's say maybe for maybe for promoting how to lose weight or get fit or whatever, right? What can you give people? That's one nugget. That's something that would make him go, wow, thank you, right? And what you do is you just email your list and you say, hey, I just wanted to share with you this one tip that helped me or helped somebody else, or I know it's going to benefit you. Here's what you do, right? If you want to lose weight, here's 5 foods that you never eat, or here's a recipe for something cool shake or whatever that I think is going to benefit you lose weight, right? And see, what you do is you record a video or you do a blog post and you email to your list and you say, hey, I just did a blog post, right, talking about this thing free of charge, no pitches, no sales, nothing. I just wanted you to know this. I hope that you benefit from it. Talk soon, whatever, right? Maybe a quick paragraph of the email. You send it to your list, and see, what you do is you don't pitch, right? But you give information through your blog, okay? What happens is this. People go there, and they, first of all, you're sharing it on your blog, right? So people don't look at blogs as sales pages. I mean, blog is meant for information. Blog is, a lot of people research, they go to blogs and things like that, right? So all of a sudden there is a barrier that gets, brought down a little bit. But see, when you do that, people go there and they actually get value from you, and there is no pitching. It's just pure value. They go, wow, that was pretty awesome, right? Guess what happens when you send out an email next time? That same person, they might be on 50 other people's lists, right, about the same topic. Because when we want something, when I want to buy, when I want to learn how to make money online, I'm going to subscribe to, 50 marketers. I mean, I'm going to subscribe to everybody until I find what I want, right? Think about how can you elevate yourself as a marketer from the competition, from your crowd, right? If you're promoting whatever you're promoting, it's the same for every industry pretty much out there, okay? So what you do is you do something called, I personally call it value-based marketing, okay? I like to keep my ratio about 3 or 4 to 1, okay? 3-4-1 ratio. So you give 3 just pure, 1 golden nuggets, right? For free, no pitches. And then you sell them, right? And then you say, hey, if you enjoyed that stuff, I've got this, check this out, okay? Very, very, mellow. But here's what you do is people will start looking at you and they will wait for your next email to arrive. And when it arrives, your email open rate is going to go through the roof, right? You're going to get more people to see your stuff. You're not going to be this pitchy, sleazy marketer who's just pitching every single time, right? And you're going to be real with people. And it goes back to why you're doing what you're doing. Like for me, and man, this is a long answer, Dave, to your question, dude. I am sorry. I mean, I'm just going off. But I want to tell this because I see so many people, there a lot of you guys are on here, and man, you want to make this work, right? And the good thing is you can, okay? Banish the thought that you can't. Just banish it. You can. Doesn't matter what your background is, doesn't matter what you've done in the past, doesn't matter what's going on in your life right now. You can. You owe it to yourself to make this work. If I would quit 8 years ago when the going was tough, I would, I don't know if I would be where I'm at today. Probably not, right? In fact, I know I wouldn't. Would I be able to, impact thousands of people's lives? Heck no, right? But see, what's cool now is that this thing now becomes, it's like that ripple, right? My team members are replicating themselves now, right? And we have 3rd and 4th generations now of people making, $5,000-$10,000 per month, right? And they're not even my personal downlines. They're like 3rd, 4th generation. That's what's really, really exciting for me. But see, I chose Empower as my vehicle. Number 1, you need a vehicle. Number 2, you need a system that would drive that vehicle. And you can create that system by just using your blog, by using a product that you got from Empower Network. And you can literally create this system by just basically giving good information out on your blog. And that alone can be a system that you can create. In fact, there are trainings inside of Empower Network on exactly how to do that, okay? And I believe that the Blog Beast Academy is going to have that training on how do you actually engineer and structure all that stuff. And number 3 is you need to learn how to get traffic, right? Well, see, the cool thing about Empower, man, is all this is packaged together, right? And when you get those products, you go through them, you will be able to resell them if that's what you want to do. You make big bucks because it's 100% commissions. I was going to say something and I forgot, man. See, that's the thing. I can, my mind is going like 100 miles an hour, and my mouth is not moving fast enough.
Hey, is my sound working better now?
This is better, man. Yeah, this is better. Thanks.
A lot better? Okay. Hopefully this thing will keep the batteries. I lost my charger for it. No, great stuff, dude. You know what's interesting, though, is what you just said is not just like it's not just a little difference. I actually picked that up a long time ago. It's one of the things that was really valuable when I started marketing online about blogging itself. I was one of those guys like you, Vic, where I didn't promote everything. You know what I mean? I promoted like one process. I had one process I promoted that had a few affiliate offers in it, and I would not promote anything else. I wouldn't. I actually, really early on in my business, I had about 1,000 customers, and 3 or 4 months in, I had about 1,000, and there was a product launch going on, and I didn't think people needed to buy it. So I actually made a voice broadcast, and I sent a voice message to like 1,000 people telling them to not buy a launch because they were just going to be able to learn what they needed to learn just being on my list. And man, I had like 300 messages on Facebook thanking me for they're like, I can't believe it. You just probably gave up like $20,000 in commissions. I can't believe you said this. But the truth is, I didn't give up the $20,000 in commissions or the $30,000 or whatever I would have made from the launch, because I won people's hearts, and they're still buying today. You know what I mean? Whereas all those people cross-promoting every single thing that comes out, right, their lists dry up, and then they need to build a new list and find a new way to make money. But this distinction here that you continue to give value in a ratio that favors the value is a big deal. Because one great thing about like the blog and the way that we set up actually is if you create value every day and you email that to your list, and that's what you're doing, your list will always go back to that page for the value, and eventually they will watch the video all the way through and buy it, because they're not going back for that. They're going back for you. They're going back for your personality. They're going back for your information, for your heart. They're going back for what you're giving them. And they'll keep going back and keep going back and keep going back and keep going back and keep going back, and they're going to buy eventually, right? And that's just a big difference, man. That's what I've done for years. So I think that's a bigger deal than people think.
Yeah, people buy you. I mean, it's just like you're saying, people come back, they might be interested in the thing, right? You get them, you get people to get to you through some kind of hook, right? You put some kind of hook, and that's your landing page, right? It's the big promise. It's something, you never want to say something else that you cannot deliver, obviously. But if I'm a marketer, I'm going to say, hey guys, I'm going to teach you how to increase your email open rates, and I send out that email to my list. And I do a hangout or a webinar or give them something, and I teach that, right? And I can post it on my blog, right? And people go through them and they say, wow, this is awesome. Then guess what? A lot of people are going to bookmark my blog, right? A lot of people are going to bookmark that, or next email I send out, and again I'm going to reference it and I'm going to post it on my blog. Well, people come back to that as source of information. And you know what? It's funny, Dave, because I don't know, man, if it happened to you, but it happens. It happens all the time. I see with our top guys and people who apply this stuff. Is people will start contacting you through Facebook, through Skype. They'll seek you out and they'll say, hey, what are you doing? I would like to work with you, right? And they don't care what you're promoting because they got so connected with you. Sales is a connections business. You never want to manipulate people. You never want to do that garbage. But if you're genuine about this stuff, and when you know your craft, when you make a decision, I'm going to be the best professional in my whatever you're doing. Okay. If I wanted to, if God forbid I needed to have a surgery, I would not want to go to somebody who who is just a beginner, or somebody who is just kind of wishy-washy in their practice. I want to go to the best surgeon in the world. Right. When it comes to marketing, it's so easy, folks. It's so easy to be one of the best, to be in the top, 2%ers, because there's so much garbage out there. And if you make a decision, you're going to say, I'm going to be the best in my career. I'm going to be the best in what I'm doing. I'm going to take an hour a day or 2 hours a day. I'm going to invest in myself. I'm going to get the education. I'm going to get the knowledge. And I'm going to share it with the world, right? Folks, people will come back. People will come and beg you to get your stuff, okay? You're not going to have to sell hard at all. Okay, and the coolest thing, man, is, you know, Dave, with this blogging platform, man, you guys just made it so much easier. Guys, I'm just gonna tell you guys, you know, listen, whatever you're promoting out there, this is, you know, you should, in my opinion, nobody should even think. If you're a builder, if you're a marketer of any kind, right? I don't think there should be a decision factor whether you get a blogging platform or not. Get it. I mean, I'm looking to you, I'm looking at you here through this camera, looking at your eyes, and, you know, look at my eyes right here. I'm going to tell you to get it, guys, because this is that good. I'm telling you, it's good.
I'm unmuting myself here. I keep muting myself out because I've got the wind open coming in, and I just love listening to you guys. You know, I really do. I really do. You know, I really want to listen to those. I want to listen to the people who are on the page. I want to hear your dreams and goals. I want to hear what you want to do. I want to hear where you're going in your business and really what you're here to accomplish. I want to give you a hug at the events and see what you can accomplish, what you can do, what you can give to the world. You know, we keep going back to this thing about giving, whether it's giving value, whether it's doing something great with your life by giving service to other people and giving more value than the money you're receiving, giving more value to your list than the people around you, right? And that excuse me, that goes back to you and who you are, really on the inside. And here's what I believe about people. I believe people are always doing their best. Even when they're doing bad things, I think that people are doing their best. Sometimes their best isn't very good yet, because they don't have access to resources, because they don't have the right information, because they've never been taught or they've never been mentored in a certain area of their life. Even though that's the case, I believe that people do their best, and that implies forgiveness. Because when somebody comes and they even do something that's malicious, it seems malicious when they do it. Keep in mind that that person, deep down inside, is doing that from some sort of usually unfulfilled need that they have, and the need that they have is positive. And I believe that when you really give, it's going to not just change your life, it's going to change a lot of people's lives around you, right? Because this is really about sharing your message with the world. I want to talk about something here for a second, and really I want to talk about the value of blogging, okay? And then I want to pass over to Nicole and get her talking a little, because she's like me, she's been blogging since I've known her, right? It's what she did. One of the reasons we've gotten along so well is because this is what we do. Like, we weren't paid marketers. We built our whole followings like blogging and doing social media. Excuse me. I got hiccups and a cough, so it's kind of a funny combination as I'm talking. But I want to talk about the value, not to your list. I want to talk about the value to you as a professional, as a communicator, as somebody who's moving and learning and growing in life, and really how blogging can transform you. You know, I learned something a long time ago from a friend of mine named Eric Worre, where, you know, he said, you want to know the formula. He says it's not, you don't want to learn forever and then do when you're perfect, because it doesn't work. Because usually if you learn forever, you spend forever learning, you make the perfect strategy. By the time you make the perfect strategy, it's not perfect anymore, right? He says what you really want to do, he says you want to learn and do simultaneously. He says, and that's going to get you to a certain result. You will get a result if you learn and you do simultaneously, because you're going to be able to make course corrections along the way, right? If you learn and you do simultaneously, you'll make your own distinctions from your own mistakes in addition to what you're learning, right? And you're going to become powerful. He said, but if you really want a result and you really want to go big, he said, you got to learn, do, and teach simultaneously. You got to learn, do, and teach simultaneously. Whereas you're learning, you're doing and teaching, right? As you're learning, you're doing and teaching. And why do you want to do that? You want to do that because there's something that shifts when you stop being the person who's just selling, and you start being like the source of the information for people. You start being you start treating your business like a business, and you start being a teacher. You start teaching what you're learning. And what happens is that over a very short period of time, your mind is forced into a new space when you start sharing and communicating, when you start making a blog message teaching people how to do things, when you start sharing videos and putting them up online every day. You are forced in a space where you have to become good at communicating that message to survive. You know what I mean? You have to. There's no like learning to become a good communicator involved here. You just have to adapt. Your nervous system is forced to adapt to learning how to communicate in a new way. When you're giving information, when you're the one that's writing the emails, when you're the one that's making the videos, when you're the one that's making the Facebook posts, when you're the one that's casting the vision for your business, right? Here's what happens. Your mind has to pay attention a little bit more when you're reading, right? It has to pay attention a little bit more because you're running into problems from taking action that you don't know how to solve, and you're asking questions about. Your mind will extract information from training that you won't get if you're not teaching, right? And I'm not talking about giving the world away for free, right? Not giving everything away for free. I'm talking about giving value and teaching, right? Your mind is forced to adapt. It's forced to. It has to adapt. And you start asking different set of questions when you're teaching, because you're going to get questions from your list. You're going to get questions in the comments. And by being asked those questions, you're forced to ask those questions that you don't think about as well. And by asking them, your mind continues to seek for answers that you wouldn't have looked for if you weren't teaching, right? Teaching is powerful. It's another form of giving to the world. And you know what Vic said, really what's it about? It's about giving value to the world. It's about giving value through your blog. So that's a big deal. Learn, do, and teach simultaneously. You will grow 100 times faster as a human being. If you do that, you will become one of the best communicators in the world over the next year if you just make videos every day and you put them on your blog and you make the videos about what you're learning, right? So you read a book about the courage to love, or you read a book about good to great, or you read a book you know, about psychocybernetics, whatever it is, and you tell someone you learn in the book, right? You will become one of the most powerful communicators in the world in a year, just by learning, doing, and teaching simultaneously, because the books you read are going to change, the people you're around are going to change, and the audios you listen to are going to have to change so you can learn to be a better communicator. There's another side of this, though, okay, that really is powerful, okay? You know, one of these things that they always talk about when you're talking about setting goals and the law of attraction, regardless of how it works, right? We can get into scientific debates all day about, you know, the truth of some of the crazy things people say. But here's what I know. I know that when you put your vision out there, right, number one, it puts you on the line. But number two, when you talk about your vision and you start talking and acting towards it like it's going to happen, weird stuff does happen. Weird stuff, right? Like I remember one time, Vic, where I had a really particular question in my mind, okay? And I had this really strange thing happen to me, and I didn't really know why. I got to tell you this story sometime. You think it was one of the most fascinating things in the world. It's not something I've shared, right? But so I ask a question, right? And I keep asking and asking and asking and asking. And it was like 31 days straight, right? I ran into the most random people in the most random circumstances in the most random parts of town who would just like be standing there, and I was like sitting here, and this person would just like turn around, start talking to me, and share this crazy story that was kind of like the same as this crazy thing that I had happen. And I wasn't doing anything to create it other than asking a question. These people were just appearing everywhere like it was like magic, right? And I could go on and on with this. When you put a vision out there and you start talking about it, you start acting like it's going to happen, it might not happen the way you think it's going to happen. That's why you got to allow yourself flexibility and adaptation, because you might say, I'm going to hit it in this time, but it's actually better if you hit it in this time. Like we wanted to do an event originally in January, 3 months after we launched, or 2 months after we launched. We wanted to, because January is a great month for events. That's why we're doing an event in January. But the merchant account shut us down. We couldn't process payment for the event, and you got to actually pay for the event. They're super expensive, so we actually could not do an event in January. We didn't have any ability to process payments or take tickets or like anything, right? So we had to do our first event instead in June. It took us 2 more event cycles to put our first event out there, but it happened at the right time. We ran into the event planners at the right time, the random people at the right time, the right people at the right places at the right time to pull that event off, and the last possible second, and the greatest story ever told, because we started speaking that event and we spoke it from nothing to something. And when you blog, think about it like a living, breathing dream board, okay? Like you take the Vic, I know he's got dreams and goals and dream boards in his office, right? But you got a blog. You got something where you're putting your spirit, your soul out there, and you're out there to accomplish things, and you're telling people what you're going to do, right? You tell people the direction you're headed. You tell people the vision for your business and your life, and you are putting it out there publicly like a living, breathing, commented on, interacted with dream board. And I'll tell you, there ain't nothing more powerful to your unconscious mind than doing that. And if you blog for nothing else, you should blog to put your vision out there. Or you should blog to put the life you want out there and to talk about the family you want, the existence that you want, the relationships you want, the money that you want to create, what kind of car you're going to buy when you hit that level. When I got online, I told people, within this time, I'm going to hit this income, I'm going to move to Costa Rica, and I'm going to live on the beach, right? And I told them 90 days. Within 90 days, I said, I'm going to make $30,000 a month, and I'm going to go live on the beaches of the world. And I talked about it every day, on every phone call, on every webinar, on every blog post, in the comments of the blog post, responding to emails. I talked about it on the phone with people. I talked about it. I talked about it. I talked about it. I talked about it. Put it out there. And did you know I did just that? Right, in 90 days, exactly what I talked about, exactly. I mean, it was like, I could tell you story after story after story about how things came together to make that happen, because I was dreaming and putting it out there. And a lot of people, see, you get beat up or whatever when you're a kid, it's like your parents are like, well, be normal, you know what I mean? Like, get a job, Even I love my mom, and my mom is one of the most supportive people ever, but, it's like so long of struggling that, 4 or 5 years ago, she was looking at me, she's like, have you ever thought about going back to school, Dave? And my sisters too, my brothers, and my sister Emily, she came and she hung out. She lives in Dallas, Texas. She came to the Dallas event, and she heard me speak, and she said something really interesting to my assistant. She was like, "Is that my brother? That's like David that like I grew up with in the house that like I didn't know he could speak like this. Who is he?" Because when you put yourself out there, you put your vision out there, you just change. Like, I don't know how many people are in your family, Vic, but I guarantee they don't know what you do unless they're in. If they're in, they know, right? But if they ain't in, they don't fucking, excuse the language, they don't know what you do, dude. They think that you're like in the mafia or something like that. You know what I mean? They like, my brother Will, he has a son, Andrew. And Andrew came, he hung out, and he says, I don't know what you do for a living, Dave, but, if you ever want to take your ever-increasing pile of money and buy me an iPad, that would be great. So to him, I have this ever-increasing pile of money, but he doesn't have no idea what I do. People don't know, you know what I'm saying? You need to put that vision out there. And here's what else happens with vision, okay? Now, how it happens, Nicole said something interesting to me the other day. I think she's Christian too. She's like, Dave, one of these days you'll be converted. You'll be like a Baptist preacher that says boner on stage or something. Like, what is that? You said it was so funny. I mean, I laughed for like a good 5 minutes. But it's like, she said, but you're blessed with a supernatural vision. And there's something about vision. There just is. Where when you believe in something and you speak about it and you talk 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 about it and you talking about it, here's what starts to happen. You start to become a good communicator, and other people start believing in your vision too. When you're talking about your vision all the time, people will believe it, right? Your relatives might not believe it. Some people on your list won't believe it. Then you might get naysayers out there that say, look at Vic wanting to make $1 million a month. Yeah, whatever, Vic's house, whatever. They'll say it. But you know what's going to happen? People are going to buy into it. For example, with Vic, I believe he's going to make $1 million a month. I don't question it at all, right? People will believe it. And here's what happens. When you got 2 people, all of a sudden, they start believing and speaking about your vision. And then you've got 4 people believing and speaking and acting on your vision. And then you've got 16 people believing and speaking and acting on your vision. And then you've got 32 people believing and speaking and acting on your vision. And then you've got 64 people believing and speaking and acting on your vision. And then you've got 200,000 people believing and speaking and acting on your vision. I'll tell you, man, I don't know how it works, but it's like the freaking universe warps and just puts people, resources, places, and things in your way all the time. It's like I read this marketer's, message a long time ago, and his name was Peter, I think Peter Ragnar, I can't remember his name. He's a super weird guy, but they call him the magic man, right? Because he's like always in the right place at the right time, and just this stuff happens. And I was laughing when I first read it, but then I just started having this weird stuff happen to me all the time, and I don't know what it is. I don't know. Maybe God's blessing me, right? Maybe it's the way I'm seeing the world. It's like I'm deleting everything else but blessing. I don't know. But I'll tell you something, guys. Even I'm in the right place at the right time now, even when I think I'm not. Even when bad stuff happens, it turns into good stuff. When I just persevere, right? Now, if I didn't persevere, I'd never see what that would turn into. But I'm in the right place at the right time all the time, even when I think I'm not. Something magical happens when you blog, when you do it consistently, when you put a vision out there, when you cast it to people. And I'm not saying you're buying a magical blog, you know what I mean? It's like, yes, our blog is like blessed, you know what I mean? It's got holy oil on it. I saw this commercial on YouTube from this is funny. I mean, this was abusive, but it was at the same time of being abusive it was also hilarious. There was this guy selling what does he call it? God oil. It was something like this oil that was blessed by God. It was like only $59.95, and you rub it on yourself and God blesses you, you know what I mean? And he had an infomercial for this like God blessed oil, you know what I mean? That's not what I'm saying about our blog, right? You got to blog. You got to go out there and you got to create your vision. It's just a medium for you to share your voice with the world, to share your heart with the world, to share what's in your spirit, what's in your mind with the world, to become a communicator, to become somebody who gives. What if we become the people that have the audacity to become the most giving people in the world? What if Empower Network becomes the greatest communication engine where we're just churning out people that are the best communicators in the world? What if, because we exist, because we share this, and it's not about the money. We share income stories all day, Vic, oh yeah, he's like, got like this ever-increasing pile of money in his backyard or whatever. Yeah, whatever. People, that might get somebody in, right? And we got to do disclosures and whatever with that. I'm not talking about money here, guys. I'm talking about vision. I'm talking about hope. I'm talking about believing in people, and I'm talking about getting you out there, right? What if we become the people with the audacity to go out there and to alter the way the universe is by sharing a dream? One person with a dream is powerful. So, hey, Nicole, by the way, just blogging, what does it do to people? I mean, you've been blogging for years, and that's how I met you, blogging. I can't remember what your brand was. It was like the social media queen or something like that.
Mailbox money. Well, it started off the mailbox money queen.
Mailbox money queen?
Yeah. But it predominantly was based on building your business through social media. But to answer your question about blogging, and I'm just listening to what you're saying, it's funny because we all say the same thing repetitively, and I don't think it sinks into people's brains. But I often share the concept of what it takes to produce a harvest, to make money. And there's this book that I read by John Acuff called Start. I talked about this in Denver and in Dallas, where he talks about the process to getting awesome, and it's 5 steps. It's pretty much the process to creating success and making money. And this applies in a format for all of you guys who are out there and you're trying to figure out, well, what's the point of blogging? What's the point of listening to these trainings? What's the point of learning how to market through social media. Like, I just want to get to the money. I just want to get to the money. I just want to get to the money. Well, repetitively between David and Vic and I, we pretty much shared with you what it takes to get to the money. And it starts off with this process that this guy teaches in the book Start. The concept is that you have to first learn something. As you're learning something, guys, what happens is you begin to edit from it. When you start putting some things into practice, you begin to edit the things that you learn you should do and things that you can eliminate. Then you go into mastering that thing that you've learned. Guys, you can't get to being massively successful in anything until you become a master over something, one thing, not everything, but master over something. Once you master it, guys, then you get to the harvesting. You start harvesting, you reap a benefit, you can start making money because you've mastered a concept. Because once you've mastered it and you can harvest from it, then you turn around and teach it. Dave shared tonight the concept of, as you're learning something, go out and teach it. When you're shooting videos as you're blogging, or when you come across something and you've experienced something, go and blog about it or shoot videos about it. What blogging does, and I started blogging, I think back in 2008 when I started, what I learned about blogging is that what happens is when you share your journey, it helps you build a relationship with your audience. And it also keeps a journal of your progress. Both videos and blogging create kind of a history of your growth process. And what you guys don't realize about internet marketing is that every piece of content you create is a piece of real estate on the internet. What does that mean? The more stronger of a presence you have on the internet, the more you'll be able to get access to tons more people through those different mediums that you use to market. So if you're blogging and people go in and they Google and you got 100 different or 1,000 different blog posts on your blog and they have different keywords that are indexed in there, what's going to happen is you have 1,000 opportunities for people to find you because of the amount of blog posts that you have and the kind of content that you're talking about. It's the same thing in video marketing. The more videos you shoot and depending on the headlines, you guys got to learn how to master your craft when you're shooting videos. There's certain headlines that for keywords you want to add into your headline to be able to attract the kind of people that you want to attract, putting different things in your description, putting certain keywords as your tags. When you start learning how to master those things, and you're consistently putting the content out there and you're sharing what you're learning, what happens is people are following behind you in this learning process. When they find your content that shares what you learned, it attracts them to you. It attracts them to you. Blogging is also another opportunity to create credibility. A lot of you guys, Vic talked about that, if people want to do business with somebody, they don't want to deal with somebody where they're doing this as a hobby. There's nothing that I can't stand worse than somebody who wants to charge expert prices to do something when they act like an amateur. A lot of us want to make expert money, but we can't provide the service that an expert provides. We can't be the expert, but we want to get paid like an expert. When you start getting out here and you start promoting yourself and you start saying and sharing all the things that you can provide and show people, guys, you have to be able to bring some level of value to them to make them feel like they've gotten something out of it. Many of you guys look at this business as a quick fix for you to make money. All you care about is, I got a bill to pay, I need somebody to sign up so I can pay that bill. But desperation repels success. Until you get to a point where you start engaging in this content in the learning process and actually applying what you've learned, it's going to be very hard for people to be drawn to you, because at this point, you can't add any value to their life. If, like Dave said, if I sit down and all you do is complain and you talk about all the things that you don't know, why would I follow you? But if I can sit down with you and I start sharing an idea that I have, and you can help show me how to take that idea and manifest it into a logical, strategic plan that I can put in place that's going to help me to realize that plan or realize that idea into income, then now you got my attention. Now I want to go ahead and invest in you. Now I want to be on your team. Now I want to be connected to you and associated with you. So guys, getting into a point where you're blogging consistently, it's creating a track record. It's creating a track record. Although you're brand new, can you attract people in your life at this moment? Yes, you can. But guys, the best way to come up with content that attracts people is for you to create content that has something that sticks. And when we say something that sticks, they have like something called anchor posts on blogs. And if any of you guys think about shopping centers, if you think about any shopping centers around your house, there are a lot of shopping centers where they have key anchor stores. That anchor store is the main attraction of that shopping center, and they want to make sure they have an anchor store there that's going to drive all the people to that shopping center. once they get to the shopping center, they'll put all these different little stores around it. Well, your blog post, when you create value, you want to have an anchor blog post. You want to have key content on there, and that's in any level of content you produce. And as you're putting those anchor things on there, guys, that are giving people real hardcore information that's creating value, what happens is those few anchor posts that you put on your blog, it'll start attracting people to your blog post because of that anchor post, and then they'll find other little content that you might put up that's not as valuable or as, you know, just so much content written. It might be a brief paragraph where you're sharing something and it may not be full of as much value. But if you put anchor posts, take some time out, guys, to create some really good content, you'll be surprised how much that anchor content, that anchor blog post will start attracting a lot of people to you in business. And I'll just also say, you know, another reason why it's not just blogging, guys, but why you need to share your journey is because as you start building a team of people, what's going to happen is as you're sharing your experiences of what you're going through, you can mentor them through your content. What I'm starting to do now is taking a lot of videos when I was going through different processes of different things, and I would talk about them, which I still do now, putting them in taking those videos that I've done talking about different processes of growth in my internet marketing journey, I'm putting them in my email autoresponders. So if I'm talking about how I overcame the struggle of shooting videos, or how I dealt with the concept of one of my best videos that I've gotten a lot of response from was how to stop attracting broke people. You know, the reality is a lot of us want to make a lot of money, but we attract a lot of people with no money. And so I did a video on how to stop attracting broke people in your life, and it went bananas. And if people are on my list and they've been in this industry for years and you know, whether it's network marketing or internet marketing, and they're trying to figure out how can they start attracting the right kind of people in their life, this is the kind of video that they need to watch, because it gives that person who wants to be a leader, who doesn't know how to lead or attract other leaders, to learn the necessary, you know, concepts and principles to stop attracting broke people in their life. And putting that, you know, taking the content that I've put on my blogs and content that I put in my videos that, you know, I know are a part of the process that I've faced in my journey, putting that content out there to be able to and put it in my email autoresponders to be able to connect with my audience and get them to know, hey, I went through this process and this is what I discovered when I was faced with this big challenge. And those are the kind of things that I feel will start, you know, really getting you connected with your audience for them to see the value. So, and Vic, I'm sure Davey stepped away, but if you want to add to that, I know you may not be much of a blogger, but as far as creating valuable content, you know, from videos, because I know you do a lot of videos, you do the video challenge and stuff like that. But maybe you can share some insight on how that has helped you.
I am now, Nicole. I wasn't.
Oh yeah, you said you were doing the videos. Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, I wasn't a blogger because I could never figure out how to use WordPress and all those other blogs. I mean, I literally, I had to, like, I created a blog just because I understand the value of a blog, right? That's like your central hub. From, you know, and so that's like you know, what you're about, and that's where people go to get about, you know, to learn more about you and things like that, and connect with you ultimately. But I am now. I mean, I'm literally taking the next few days here to get everything transferred over to my blog and make it a central point for me, and that's what I'm gonna, you know, that's what I'm gonna teach others how to do as well, is how to do that effectively. And it's not just about, I mean, a blog is not about, you know, should not be a play, in my opinion. And then you know, maybe Nicole, your perspective is a little bit different, but I believe that blog should not be used specifically as a place for you to pitch people everything and anything. I think it's to show the world who you are, what you stand for. And guys, you know, if you want to be a marketer, this is big. This is big. You gotta put your stake in the ground. You know, what do you believe in? You gotta be very, very clear on that. What do you stand for? What do you stand against? What are you willing to tolerate? What are you not willing to tolerate? All that stuff should be very, very clear, and should be communicated out to the, you know, to the community as well, right? I'm very clear on a few things. Okay, number one is, you know, I don't disperse my energy into, you know, 100 different directions. I would rather focus on one thing, make that work to the best of my ability. All right, because it's easier. It's easier to focus on one thing and make that thing and perfect that one thing, than it is to try to chase, you know, 100 different rabbits different directions, because we only got 24 hours a day. Number two is I mean, one thing about me is, like, I don't tolerate any form of negativity, zero, none. I don't care what the situation is. I don't care what's going on. And I'm just not gonna, I'm not gonna take my energy into that and pay attention to that stuff. That goes for our team. That goes for my subscribers. That goes for everybody that that are in contact with me. And so you just talk about that stuff. You can like Nicole, what you've been sharing here is good stuff. I mean, that's what you put out, and so that way you create yourself. You become this this marketer that where you're going, right? And you're going to be attracting people who are going to align with you. You don't want to get everybody. I don't want to get everybody in my business. No, I'm not looking for everybody, but I'm looking for people who resonate with my vision personally. I'm looking for people who resonate with what I want, what I stand for, what I stand against, and that's going to be your absolute best, teammates, your subscribers, your customers, clients, whatever you're into. So, and blogging is a like the most perfect way to do it. Absolutely.
So, you guys, I'm gonna talk for a minute here, and then I say we actually call this a night. We've been on here for almost 2.5 hours, and personally, I've got a lot of value out of tonight. Some of it's been reminding me of some things. Some of it's been some things that I've been able to share, and some of the things have been some things Nicole and Vic has shared. We've got this this product where you get these bonuses, and they're going to be available through till I believe 11 a.m. Eastern is what our programmer told her when the cart is going back to normal and the bonuses aren't available. But it's not just that. What I want to encourage you guys to do, we have a product that's out right now. You guys are obviously going to get in. It's $25. You know what I mean? Just buy. Like, tonight was worth more than $25. You know what I mean? That's what I could legitimately say tonight is worth to you if you just decide to listen for a second. It's worth more than $25. What I'm going to tell you in the next minute is worth more than $25 or 10 minutes or whatever it is. Just get in. But there's a product there that you have an opportunity to buy, and it's the Blog Beast Academy. It'll be renamed after the launch to something that fits with our product line. That went with the launch name, but being Power Network Academy, but it's going to close for a long time. That thing is going to be talking about what we've talked about tonight, how to do it a little bit, how to create a value-based content engine that helps you get the results that you want, how to give value to the world and to utilize our platform. That product, it's $297. You want to buy it, especially if you're on Power Network. If you're a customer, if you're an affiliate here, you want to buy it, because we're going to walk you through how to use blogging as an engine to create your social empire, your influence empire, your vision. We're going to talk about vision blogging, how to do that, how to create what you want in your life. Because creation in your life, it's an art. You know what I mean? There's some science to it. You teach the science, but there's a place where what we're doing goes beyond things that you can explain, to where it's the artist staring into a canvas and images from the back of his mind come forth. Your life is a tapestry, and you can weave it in any way you choose. The question is what are you going to do with this information? Obviously, you are going to get in and be a part of what we do in one level or another. And whatever level that is, we welcome you. Of course, I'm like Vic. I encourage you to get all in and to buy all the products and treat whatever your business is like a business by getting the information that you need to get the results you want. There is though just a power in making a decision, just a power in deciding that you are going to do something great. And I encourage you guys to be a part of that live series we're doing and to be a part of those trainings. That $297 thing, I don't know why the heck we're giving that away for $297. It's worth a lot more. This is an example of giving way more than the money we're receiving. You guys want to buy that. You guys want to be a part of that. You want to be a part of that education, a part of that training. You guys want those bonus trainings in there. And that will go off the market tomorrow at 11 a.m. Eastern time. There won't be any extensions to it. And if we ever put it back out with all the stuff that's in it, it's not going to be $297. There's just no way. It might have 3 products in there that are each $297. We might do that, but it won't be $297. It's too little money for too much value. It's an imbalance in the universe, but we're doing that because we love you. And we want you guys to be able to get results. If you're an affiliate here, it's your last chance to really slam for this, to participate in what we're doing. But I don't really want to say slam even, because it gets back into this language that we're here to push, ourselves on people, when really we want to attract the people to our family here, our business family, who want to be involved with it, right? And the way we're going to really get the best people is not by pushing something on them. It's by winning their hearts and minds and spirits. It's by doing things that really go the extra mile. When we came out with this company, there's a lot of people, they said, oh, it's just about money. That's it. That's all they talk about. Well, those people had never been through any of our products. They've never been on any of our calls. They did see the sales video, which was a little bit heavy weighted in the favor of just about money. But that's what was converting. It was getting people in. And once they got in, we just gave and we 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 gave, and we reinvested our own money and reinvested our own money and reinvested our own money and reinvested our own money, aimed in a single direction, and that heart won over time, and we proved the model. And it took us a while to prove the model, and we proved it, and now we are growing faster than we've ever grown before. We're attracting different people than we've ever been able to attract before, and it's just the start. It's just the start. I believe that this company is going to do things that are not possible for another company to do, and it's because of our different excuse me, it's because of our different intention and heart. So my encouragement is to you to get in, to get all in, to make sure that you're in the academy and participating, and to take this information tonight. And please do it. Just do it. Like, trust us and do it. You know what I mean? Like, you're not gonna have the perfect existence. There's gonna be stuff that's gonna be tough, right? Just do it. Put a video on your blog every day. Take action every day. I mean, I'm losing my voice, hoping that I can convince you to do it. Just do it, guys. Be a part of this, because this is about you. And I'm proud of you. I'm proud of all of you who made a decision tonight to be involved. And I'm excited to see what you're going to do. So that's all I got to say. Thank you for being on tonight. If you're not in, just get in. Just pull out your credit card and buy. And just join, and hopefully tonight was of value and it was of service to you, because that's what this is really about. That's who I am. I am here to serve you and to help lift you up, and that is the only reason that I'm here in life and where I am. So I appreciate you guys. Thank you for coming, and make a decision to buy.